Yeah, best spot. Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you don't like the games, get the fuck out of gaming. Got my Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. Got my Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. I'm on my Halo Gears and Forza. Bitch, I thought I told ya. I'm gaming 4K Ultra. Textures make you throw up. No anime, no Neo, no Tokyo bullshit. Forza 7 on my Scorpio. It's looking super crisp. Not that PS4 Pro, soupy shit, or that Nintendo Switch, goofy shit. I like my Master Chief and my Marcus Phoenix in the Forza game with the orange McLaren. That Xbox got my hand shaking. Took a poop on my PlayStation. Wiped my ass with my hands and wiped it on my PlayStation. My Xbox clean, sanitation. I'm NBA Live with the animations. I bought that X, no hesitation. I'm the best spots, bitch, that's dedication. Smoother frames and faster loads. More games than my box can hold. 4K and better shadows. Xbox is for the pros. Xbox, we play games. PlayStation, y'all list games. Y'all got them niche games. We got them big names. You can have your knack in your GT Sport. You can have your Nier in your PS3 ports. But over here, our games are clear. And I must admit, I'm happy with my Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. Got my Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming.
Bars. Nothing but bars. That is a banger from none other than Kid Smoove. It just seemed appropriate for the current time we are in. It was only right. It was only right. The people demanded it. People was asking for it, and I delivered. It is a catchy, even though it got that Sesame Street beat. It was still fire. We need him to remaster that. I'm gonna ask him for that remaster because it sounded like the mic at that time when he made that song sounded like he was recording with a potato. Shout out to Kid Smoove, man. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Should have a good show in front of us. Got some guests coming through. Believe y'all will like them.
Oh God, it's loud.
It's over for you think it's over? I think it's over for them Bucks, man.
Oh, the Bucks getting cucks.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of disappointed. I want the trend of like the big man winning something.
I feel you.
Whether it's like Jokic, I mean Embiid, Giannis, like I want like the return of the big man to the NBA because it's more fun that way than a bunch of like niggas launching up threes all day.
Yeah, they couldn't defend them threes, and they couldn't the way they play, they couldn't keep up with that. So
Although Jack had to find out the hard way that the light skin master race is taking over again.
oh man, making a comeback.
I mean, Will Smith set us back, so they got to roll up like Thanos, grab the glove, and say, "I'll do it myself."
I feel you, dog.
What's up, everybody? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, man. What's going on?
Good evening.
Yeah,
You're loud. He's very quiet. I don't know how I sound.
Logical, turn your mic up just a bit if you can.
I don't know how I sound. I'm on AirPods today.
No, you're okay.
I sound better than normal?
Yeah, than last week, yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
I
Yeah.
had the wired ones in. My mom's friend gave her AirPods. I'm like, Mom, you better give me these before you lose them.
Mm.
She loses her phone like literally once a month. So I'm like, I'm just gonna snatch these.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good. Yeah, that's better.
Awesome.
Chat, y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Gotta
Oh man, I'd
Should be a
retweet
good
it, but
show.
I can't.
yeah.
You know, this man's serious. I mean, oh, Twitter.
So you gonna make another account or what's going on?
Oh, still appealing it. I've got too much shit in my life going on right now that it's actually kind of good my Twitter's deactivated.
Yeah, they really got you out of here for nothing.
Yeah, I know. Like this man,
What
like,
happened? I didn't even know if I was doing anything.
like
He
you
called-
you can't even say like, "Come on, man," or
Yeah.
"Hey guys," or anything on Twitter. Like it's that scary now for real.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like
It's
this
bad.
man's serious. Oh, Smoove, your game of the year bet's not happening, obviously. So you must pay me now.
Isn't it delayed?
Well, so it's delayed, but it's not getting. It can't get game of the year this year. So I'm on the phone.
What did y'all say
It's
if it gets
already
delayed?
over.
He's supposed to cancel it.
Bucks lost.
So it's
over.
the bet is
Game
canceled?
Hold on, my mom is calling me.
All right.
Of course, the
But-
bet's canceled. It can't. If it can't get nominated, if it can't release.
I mean, technically, but you can also look at it. If it can't get nominated, that means it's also not winning game of the year.
No, the bet is it will get game of the year. If it gets delayed, he automatically loses
I don't recall
Mm.
that. I don't recall
because
that.
it can't get game of the year. It's just like he
Ooh.
bet Halo to win game of the year, but it couldn't get nominated. Remember?
Have to go back to the tapes, see what the tape said.
Oh, in 3 weeks when I move, when I open up my computer, I'm just gonna have this giant spread list of Smoove bets.
Mm.
Don't worry
trying to
though.
collect.
I date him and everything, so I got a giant Excel sheet.
Okay.
We might start talking about buyout options because Smoove is taking heavy L's this year. But Smoove can always win your money back.
I don't think a lot of people do that.
You're definitely going to open 6 this year. So
Has anybody seen the likes of Jack move? What
he's
is
been
he doing?
upset since
Memphis, right?
yeah. I mean, it sucks that the Sixers should have Jason Tatum. We should have Jimmy Butler. Oh god.
All right. Well, okay. There go Jack. It's 5:48. Rand, how are you doing, good sir?
What's going on, BG? What's up, Bond? What's up, Jack?
Do we
Hey,
gotta blame Rand for Memphis?
This is my
Or
fault.
no,
Hey,
we have to blame
BG
Rand
BG
for,
invited me because he literally said Kid Smoove needs some help on Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gonna need some
Yeah,
help, dog.
So
I'm always looking out for Smoove. I just want you to know I'm on your side. As soon as I saw the news, I was like, listen, I'm gonna contact the man with $1 million. Help Smoove out this Sunday. I'm looking out for you, Smoove.
but I don't know how much help I can be. I mean, when it's a pretty bad
First of
week.
all,
I can't go. I'm not going to war this week. I mean, I got nothing.
First of all, two things need to happen. Two things need to
It
happen.
sound
before
worse
this.
or better?
You sound fine.
It doesn't sound like your regular mic. Yeah.
Oh
Or you-
shit! Let me check.
I hear Smoove lost another bet to Bond though.
Yeah.
Nah,
See,
not
things,
yet.
two things need to happen before this podcast even starts. One, y'all need to put some respect on BG's name. This nigga been hitting the ball out the park like Barry Bonds on steroids since Cyberpunk.
Oh
I
man.
don't think he's missed yet. And y'all have to acknowledge it. It's funny when BG is the Kevin Samuels of video games. He be telling
sound
the
good
truth, and y'all be getting mad. BG, the Kevin Samuels of video games. He tell you the truth, y'all get mad and offended. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you are an Xbox fan, y'all need to put a gag order on Smoove. The second this nigga said that Starfield was going to be game of the year and this, that, and the other, y'all knew it wasn't coming out. It was
So
getting
this was
delayed.
Smoove's fault once again.
It's always Smoove's fault.
Mm.
But, And remember, Smoove also made a bet besides Game of the Year that it'll get a 90 plus on Metacritic. So you know that's not happening either.
Oh
So
man.
are you saying there's a Smoove curse?
Oh yeah, that's been
Where have you
established.
been?
Everything.
Hey, if we need
Rand,
somebody
Rand,
to blame, we got to blame somebody.
Rand, no, this is without fail. Everything Smoove says, the opposite happens. We've tested it out with everything for years.
It goes back this far, Rand, right? The Eagles finally made the Super Bowl. The backup quarterback. I text BG. I was like, yo, Eagles won the Super Bowl. It's like, how you know? I'm like, I already bet kid Smoove. It's in the bag. Smoove, this last year, literally said, Bengals by 3. By 3? Oh, yeah, they did.
Yep, they lost by 3. By the exact same thing. Like the opposite of what Smoove said. Yeah.
Smoove, you're going to have to start betting the opposite of what you want to happen.
That's right. Exactly. That's what I told them. I was like, yo, if you really want Xbox to be good, every video you should put up should be trashing Xbox and praising Nintendo and PlayStation.
Indeed.
He should have been like Halo sucked. But no, he said it was going to be good, that it shouldn't be delayed, and look what happened.
Tragic. Let's do these we got a lot to talk about, so we should get right into it. Do these intros. This is Weapon Wheel Podcast, episode 321. We appreciate everybody for joining us. You know, tweet it out, tell your grandmother, come watch and all that good stuff. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. If you want to support the Weapon Wheel Patreon, links in the description for that. That will give you access to the Discord and the Weapon Wheel After Dark, which is like an extra show every week. You can also become part of the channel memberships by hitting the join button. You can get into the Discord that way too. And hit the like button. Weapon Wheel After Darks are very entertaining. So make sure, check that out on our Patreon. And if you want to submit a video to be featured during the podcast, there's a link in the description. You can just drag and drop your gameplay and it will be featured one of these weeks. All right, let's get to the intros. Rand, it's been a while, sir.
Yeah, when's the last time I've been on?
A year? Maybe? 2 years?
Seems like a long time.
It's been approximately 5 bets ago.
Oh, man.
Ooh, 5 bets ago. That's
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
how we measure time on Weapon Wheel.
Right. Rand's big artillery, so I call him out when he's really needed. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a Jay-Z feature. You only call it when you really need it. So
I mean, between Xbox failing and Master Chief fucking the Covenant, had to bring in the Mac cannon. Mac cannons.
Yeah, that's one of the topics.
It's been a week. Xbox DRM, nobody can play their games. Master Chief clapping cheeks, and
Brand,
Starfield Redfall getting delayed.
How do you not play
what a
games
week!
where you don't have games to play?
Oh man.
Interesting.
Next, Jack move.
Yo, what's good? What's poppin'?
All right.
Light Skin Master Race. They popping
Smoove.
threes in that ass in Memphis.
What's up, everybody?
Oh.
It's the best spot, Kid Smoove. Is this like a Spider-Man mod on Saifu?
Yes, Sifu. Yes,
Sifu.
that is none other than Miles Morales. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Fire. I've been pretty much doing a whole bunch of Sifu mods, playing through the game with a bunch of mods. Yeah, it's pretty good. Porter Rock, what's going on, brother?
Hey,
Oh
what's
my
up?
God, man. I'm sorry.
Border Rock. This is gonna be good today.
Xbox community. You couldn't live with your
Good one
failures.
today.
You absolutely could not live with your failures. And where did that get you? Back to me. Back to Smoove. Hey, Lil Gives up. Yo, bro. Yo, I completely forgot about that rap. Yo, Smoove, I swear to God, put that shit on Spotify. Man, make that money.
We
bro.
need a
Hey,
remaster.
Lil Gives up Forza.
Smooth, you got to do a
Lil Gives up
remaster.
Forza.
We need a remaster. The streets. That's the hottest song in the gaming streets right now. We need that.
Smoove, I'm telling you, you leaving out a lot of coin on the streets. Put that shit on Spotify. Now, what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Hey, what's going
yeah.
on, man? Thanks for the invite, BG.
All right. Logical. Not
What's
there
up,
right now. Okay, there you go.
No, I'm here. My bad. I was on mute.
Is Logical an Xbox guy?
Oh, Logical is here. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I've been looking to get into conversation with Porter Rock too, so this is perfect.
This is
So
Bloody Sunday. Oh my God.
Hey, so this, I like Randolph said. Look, man, it's a
Randolph.
my, Thor. It's hard to kind of come in here and defend Xbox, so I ain't gonna be doing a whole lot of that. But I ain't gonna let you jab them where they don't need to be jabbed. We're gonna take shots.
They ain't getting jabbed. They getting hooked straight.
We need no. We need the cap. We need.
If it's a fact, we jumping them together. That's what I told a couple people. Hey, if it's a fact, I probably have my sword. But I'm a huge bot. Don't own no PlayStation. Y'all know how it is. There's no need for one. But Microsoft is convincing us the other way. Right now.
My brother. Listen.
What you gaming on, Logic?
Series X all day.
My brother, Logical. This is what you need to do. You need to get the PS5 because when you get it, then a light bulb is gonna be like, oh, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? When you get that PS5, you're gonna be like, now I understand.
I get
it. I got the PS4, it started collecting dust, and I was like, man, I could have saved my money.
Stop lying.
They're gonna be calling you illogical.
Oh man.
Right.
And lastly, Bond.
Bond. What's up,
man?
Guys? You gentlemen doing?
Who did you piss off, man? Because I'm like, yo, his account got obliterated.
He misgendered somebody by accident.
Are you guys having a great day, or do I have to, click on all your accounts and deep dive into the intricacies of your pronouns, gender identity, and
I'm just saying,
fluidations? And
keep messing with Black female Twitter. Go ahead. I dare you.
Porter, I got banned for saying, "Is this man serious?"
What?
Yeah. And it was yeah.
Like literally those words.
So, for all the people that were blaming black women, y'all should feel ashamed of yourselves. No black woman got me banned. So for all y'all accusing them, y'all need to owe those queens an apology.
Oh man,
because none of them got me banned. It was a regular nation.
All right, gentlemen.
Well, listen. One thing. To our fault is that when we see your Twitter, you go at them pretty hard. So we only figured rolling the dice, like in a game of chance, we were just rolling the dice. That we're like, okay,
I've never been reported in those situations. We're just having conversations. But again, if you say, "Hey, you guys, come on, man," or "What's up," you get banned.
Is what it is. Hey, man, maybe Elon Musk will save you. Probably not. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know. But all right, let's get to the topics. Okay, it's been a bit of a rough week for Xbox fans, but we're gonna start out on a lighter note. So the HALO TV show, I haven't watched, but I'm sure some of you have watched. I just want to say congratulations to Master Chief. Apparently he had sex on the last episode, and it was with the human leader of the Covenant for some reason.
The Covenant.
Yeah.
Jack, did he lose his virginity before you?
Good one, wow. Knee slapper. Wow.
Rand, have you been watching the HALO series?
Nah. I don't watch TV shows until they're finished. So.
Okay.
I watched every episode.
So, okay. What do you think about him, Master Chief, finally having sex? Congratulations to that man.
This whole series is trash.
With the enemy at that.
I mean, with the enemy at that.
Doesn't fit his character.
You would not even know the Covenant existed in this show at all
because they're humans.
I'm being dead ass. Like the Covenant is like not. The Covenant was in the very first episode, and like that's it. They show more of like some Asian girl on what's that one car movie in the deserts and shit. They made a game on it. Like you're driving.
Oh, Mad Max. Mad Max.
Yeah, you're seeing some Asian girl on Mad Max playing. It's like it's like really like the most trash show. And the worst part about him fucking Karen of the Covenant is Cortana's in his head. So Cortana had to watch him bag it.
Oh man!
Look, I said this is what's the company Paramount's what if moments. That's all this is. It's nothing to do with HALO. This is what if Paramount. Don't tie the two together because I lost interest when his helmet stayed off.
This is the multiverse. This is the multiverse.
This is the multiverse. There it is. This is all the what if moments.
This is the HALO irregular verse. So like, the only thing that's the lore accurate of the show is Covenant weaponry. It just basically like hits you like a rocket launcher. So like, if you get hit by a plasma bolt, you literally explode. You get hit by a needler, you disintegrate. So there was one Spartan that got hit like 20 times for her shield to fall off. And once her shield's down, like she's getting shot point blank by plasma rifles, not even flinching or dying. She's just like, oh my God. Like the whole show is just absolutely nuts.
And I'll say this too. This is the part that pisses me off the most. There's nothing unique about Master Chief. His whole entire storyline is being copied by the female Spartan who's doing the same. She removed her pellet out of her back. He removed his. She removed hers. He now have feelings. She now have feelings. And I'm like, dude, this is Halo. Master Chief is unique to everything Halo. Who he is, his emotions, who he is as a character is totally different. And every time we see him make a move, she copies, and I'm like, not original.
Another thing that bothered me is like, Rand, I don't know the lore as much as you do, but I'm assuming that a Spartan wearing the armor is exponentially more powerful than a Spartan outside of their armor, correct?
Yeah.
So how was Master Chief beating down 2 Spartans in armor when he was unarmored?
I mean, they're still incredibly powerful unarmored, but I don't know. I think they decided to take his helmet off and stuff just to. They wanted it to be a TV show, and they hired an actor, so they want to see him act, and they want to see his face out there. So I think that's probably why they did it. And it's really pissed off the fan base though, because now people they don't like what he's turned into because they think he's not really Master Chief.
He's not.
No. And then 343's made up this whole like it's a silver timeline, so none of it's canon. It's just whatever it is.
You know what they're going to have to do with this show? They're going. I don't know if you guys are familiar with BattleTech or Robotech, but BattleTech or MechWare, but they're very, very like lore sensitive. So there was a cartoon that came out for BattleTech in like '92, and it was so bad. It was like so like against the lore that to retcon it, they basically said the cartoon was propaganda by the enemy. That's how they retcon. So they're gonna retcon this show and just be like, this whole show was Covenant propaganda to show you how Master Chief is really weak. And my other problem is this: in the episode, they had the one Spartan female. She was like dragging trucks, and like I don't know how much does a warthog weigh? Rand, you probably know.
I mean, I've never the lore I know is from the games and stuff, and I've never read any of the books, so I don't know.
Okay, we'll say it weighs 2 tons. Whatever, 2-3 tons. This chick was lifting a warthog on a pulley system, unarmored. BG, right? Now, if you can lift a warthog unarmored 3 tons. And you are a virgin. The first time you get into them sweet walls, her spleen just flew out of her body. Master Chief fucked her through the wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this,
they're too busy trying to sell it every episode, and it's like it's failing every episode. Like they were doing good the last 2, but then
they weren't.
It wasn't. I won't say good. It was enjoyment to watch outside of the Halo universe. But then when you just see him get, he clapping cheeks, it's kind of like. Yeah, you just fell in the deep end really quick. Like, geez, you took his helmet off on the first episode, and he's clapping cheeks by 6th episode. Because he just met the girl. I'm like, dude.
Because I assume the worst part about the show is you've seen his ass more times than you've seen the Covenant. That's a fact. You've seen his ass more times. His bare naked ass, or that other bad guy. You've seen more naked men than the Covenant.
I assume they're doing this to try to make him more relatable because would the Master Chief in the game really translate well to a TV show?
Yes,
I don't know.
Because he's the avatar. Yes. That's why he never takes off his helmet. But you are right in that they're making him more relatable because most Xbox fans are fucking virgins.
Oh my God, you went there.
This guy.
Oh my God.
There you.
But I'm saying, couldn't they take the view of Mandalorian? It worked out perfectly. And even without with not seeing his face for like 2 seasons, he was very relatable.
Yeah,
he was very
very
relatable.
I just think for me, it tells me the directors and the actors couldn't pull it off where you can explain emotions with the body movement. So they just went with, hey, we'll just use your face. You know, let's take the helmet off and we can see the crying and all the sadness all in the face, rather than how he approaches different, scenes and how he approaches, going back and seeing his human history. He should explain that with his body, not necessarily with his face.
If they wanted to go by face, they should have just hired like Channing Tatum or some shit like that. If that was the case, like I don't understand. Like I don't understand. Like every preview and screenshot I've showed, I always keep seeing that fucking dude's face, and I'm like, bro, like it's turning me off from wanting to watch the show. Like I want to see Master Chief.
Turn you off.
I even hate seeing him. I hate him seeing him tweet that he's the Master Chief. I'm like, dude, no, you're not. Like you're an adaptation of whatever Paramount was trying to put out, but you're definitely not Master Chief.
It shouldn't be turning you off, Smoove. It should be turning you on. But yeah, I'll make a bet right now that Master Chief will cyberfuck Cortana in some virtual world.
Oh my god!
I bet.
Relating to Halo. So just transitioning into the game. So Joseph Staten, he did an short interview. I think it was the Kind of Funny XCast guys. Said a few things in the interview, like that he admitted that 343 they're not happy with the state of Halo, right? He's not happy with the fact that they're currently doing 6-month seasons, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said pretty much that the reason they're doing it is they're not currently capable of doing like 3 months or whatever season is, 3-4 months, because they're still working on other stuff like co-op and Forge. So they're just not capable of doing it right now. I guess the manpower, the time, the hours and stuff like that. But they want to get to that. But they're aware of everybody's not happy. People are upset with the state of the game. They're very much aware and they feel the same way.
Anybody go back to season 2, or you like me just said this game dead?
Nah, we played it a while. We played Halo Night 2, so it's pretty good. But I will say this: the game at its base form is good. The shooter mechanics, everything about the game as far as first-person shooters is great. The lack of content is the problem. Right. So I hate that they feel that hey, we dropped the ball. Well, you're dropping the ball. Not necessarily drop the ball, but you're dropping the ball by missing deadlines, by not adding co-op and not adding Forge, at least within 6 months. At least Forge within 6 months. So that way creativity does exist in the game. And because the lack thereof there is in the game, people are getting bored with it because not a whole lot of creativity with it.
It's stale pussy. That's what it is.
Jeez.
It's seriously, it is. Oh yeah, it was good the first week, but it's been the same shit for 6 months.
I'll go back to Halo when
Halo.
I'll go back to it when the Battle Royale Warzone mode comes out. Whenever that comes out, whether it's
BG,
the end of this year or next year.
That'll probably be next year. But no, I didn't go back to season 2. I don't think there was enough. I think most people feel that way, that there's just not enough,
right?
To really go back right now. And because it did get a boost, obviously. We can only measure on Steam. I think it went to like 20,000 concurrent players peak. Well, I think it was like
it went up 20,000 plus.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was like 20,000. I think. The day and the week that season 2 came out. Which is still obviously a big drop from the 250,000. The first week, but. We'll see, man. We will see.
On Xbox, it climbed from 14 to 7. So
okay.
Well, I beat the campaign. I could imagine 4 just could be intensive depending what they want to launch.
Yeah.
But why is co-op? Why is co-op so hard though? Like adding co-op, like what? Like I don't understand why co-op is such a big deal in terms of it's taking so long to implement it. Am I missing something?
It's a performance issue that they're running into because you got the Series X that runs beautifully. And now I can't speak directly to it because I'm not a dev, so don't quote me on it. But I will say what they're trying to do, and I know they're trying to get away from the older platforms. They should have just done it with Halo. They should have just got rid of the older platforms, and put it on cloud for the rest of them, because them trying to manage both, and I don't think they have a big enough team to do what they're doing, because if you look at Epic and you look at all these other games that are battle royales, they got a pretty big team behind it that's only focused on just this game, and it doesn't seem like that with 343. I can
What are
prove
you
you.
talking
So
about?
you think co-op on Xbox One platforms is what's holding everything back?
No. This dude's full of shit. What's he talking about? They have like the largest budget ever, one of the largest teams ever. Y'all need to just accept
I said, don't quote
that.
me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was questioning.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you don't know, you can't be making those assumptions.
I didn't. I was questioning it.
Like they have the
I
perfect
know the
example.
budget there. I said it's the team there. I didn't question money. I said the team.
The perfect example of what 343 is. What was the nickname I gave them last week or 2 weeks ago? Damn, what's good? I forgot about it.
I don't. But real quick, according to Google, from 2016, they had a studio size of 450. That's probably grown a lot since then. That's
but not everybody at 343 works on Halo Infinite.
Right, the Los Angeles Lakers of basketball.
Some of the people work on Master Chief Collection. Some of them work on the multimedia stuff.
Right.
I think the problem with Halo Infinite's co-op, is the Porter Rock's question is, it's so they're doing 4-player and it's a big open world, and Halo's respawn system has always been tied to, okay, are you out of combat, right? And then everybody will respawn. But like, how do you manage that when I could be leagues away from you, and who's the respawn beacon? Like, essentially, like how do you balance that? I think that is an issue they were working towards, trying to fix and stuff like that. As for like Xbox One issues, I mean, who knows? Who knows how like last gen is impacting any of this stuff? But I think it really has to do with like the classic Halo respawn stuff, where it's like, somebody could be in a single player mission, but then somebody else could be in the overworld. And if that person dies, does the person in the single player dungeon get transported to the guy up top? Or how does that all work? I think that's
a lot of questions to answer and figure out. Okay. All right.
Wait, so hold on. What I'm saying for the co-op, are they planning to have like 4-player co-op?
Yeah, they announced 4-player co-op. Yeah.
For the single player. So why don't they just do like a fire team or a quick selection type respawn system? Like, hey, this player's in this area, but this player's in this area. Like, select and zoom in, like in other games. If that's like the big issue, because that would be like
Battlefield.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to keep it. Maybe they wanted to keep it, strictly Halo, like how Halo's always been. And
but sometimes
system always works.
Yeah, I mean, if I was working with them, I'd be like, brother, like, I got it, people, but we gotta keep moving. Like we gotta knock out. Like for me, at a certain point, we gotta get this low hanging fruit out the way. Because the way I see it, man, we're talking about co-op here. Like, god damn, like what are we doing? Like let's just do something quick. Let's get something out of there. Hey, this is the system. You can have a 4-player fire team, and you can select which player you want to respawn to. Now, if people have some type of backlash, at that point, the backlash isn't you no longer have co-op. They just don't like the way co-op designed. You can work with that. But at least you got co-op. So shut the hell up and enjoy some co-op. We'll come up with a better system. But at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let's get these little W's out the way. Let's steal some bases. We're not hitting home runs, but we're still second or some shit.
I also think what also happened was when they decided to finally hit the 2021 date, I think they pulled everybody off who was working on co-op to finish the rest of the stuff. So nobody was working on co-op and nobody was working on Forge. It was all focused on, all right, we need the campaign out. We need the multiplayer out. This is what matters. We'll put everybody on it. And they were able to release it. But then, okay, now we got to go back and do this stuff. And we're behind because we pulled everybody from these projects. And it just kind of kept on compounding. And it was like, okay, well, now it's going to take even longer. I mean, hey, realistically, in hindsight, Halo should have been delayed another year. It should be coming out this fall. Because then, co-op would have launched with the game and Forge would have launched with the game. And they probably would have been able to build 6 months of post-launch content.
Right.
So it's just, I think it was just one of those things where they're supposed to launch in 2020. They couldn't for whatever reasons, COVID related, whatever. It's just, I think the game was going to get delayed regardless of COVID. I just don't think they were ready, and they just ran into all these problems. And I mean, I've been saying that for a long time. Like, I don't really think the leadership at 343 is the best. And I think management has a lot to do with that. So we'll see if Joseph Staten is the man to turn it around. Maybe he is. Maybe in a year from now we'll be talking about how great Halo Infinite is again and how much content there is, right? So
well, I'll say this too. The problem is, I believe they're trying to do too much with one IP, and I say that because they're trying to do battle royale, they're trying to do multiplayer, Halo at its core, and they're trying to do a co-op storyline. And I think that battle royale is getting in the way because if you look at Epic when they first started with what's that freaking game, Fortnite, they talked about this whole co-op storyline mission, build your own city. They just threw that in trash and said, hey, we're just doing battle royale. You see COD split up to two. There's Warzone, then there's COD. And I think Microsoft is trying to tackle all three with one IP, and it looked like they're trying to do it all within one video game. They
had 5+ years. Let's just accept what it is. 343 is trash. They need a new developer. 343 is not the developer for Halo.
Do y'all think that
that's BG. That's what they were. They were 043 Studios. Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite. 043.
So do y'all think because this relates kind of to, maybe Halo should have just been next gen only. Do y'all think the Series S will be a problem or is currently a problem?
No,
not even close.
So I'm not a dev, so I wouldn't be able to confidently say either way it's going to be a problem for the rest of the gen or not. Microsoft doesn't think it is, so I mean.
Because, I think it was the guy from Digital Foundry. He said there was a couple of developers, he didn't name any specifically, who said that they've been having, trouble with the Series S,
So I'll say this. So the word problem is pretty ambiguous because it might denote that something big might happen, which we don't know.
I think it was memory related or something like that.
The only thing is this. Like, if we're going to do a comparison between the three platforms, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox is the only one that has two separate architectures that the first party have to contend with. And that's pretty much all you can say. Xbox first party developers got a console that has two unique architectures in the sense of how they're designed. Nintendo doesn't, Sony doesn't. And that's then that's it. And that's all we can really say. How is that event? Does Nintendo and Sony first party have an advantage because they only have to worry about one SKU over as compared to Xbox? How big is that advantage?
Porter, you're wrong on that. It's not just two because they put their games on PC and launch.
I'm talking about because since the conversation specifically consoles. You're right because the developers also have to do day one on PC. Who knows what to do on cloud? But I'm just talking in the sense of the console as a baseline. The Xbox Series S is technically the baseline for Xbox, right? While PlayStation is just that one SKU, and for Nintendo is just that one SKU. They didn't put themselves in a position where they have a junior baseline. Now, how big of an impact that is, I like if I was on Twitter, I would talk my shit, right, and exaggerate. But in reality, I don't know. We don't know what that leads to in terms of game design or whatever.
I think it's like I feel like it shouldn't be an issue. And just to piggyback or preroxide, the Xbox, they're the same architecture, just one's weaker. But they offer the same. Like they're built off the same system. They use the same the Xbox Series S dev kit is the Xbox Series X dev kit. It's like it's one unit that they use, and they just have to turn some settings off or whatever. The thing is that if a developer if they're gonna make games for the Switch, I don't want to hear shit about the Series S. If you're still porting games to Xbox One S and PS4 and 2013 Xbox One, I don't want to hear shit. Because like at that point it was like, okay, then it can't be that much of a pain if you're still going out of your way to put games on 2013 hardware.
Yeah, I think that the digital Foundry guys were saying that they thought the memory might be a problem. in the future.
It was specifically memory.
Not like the GPU or the CPU or whatever.
Yeah,
So.
and also performance is there. Just you can't do too much with the low memory.
Also, we can't compare cross-gen games because at a certain point we want to be done with cross-gen. So we can't well, at a certain point these games at a certain point can't be made with Xbox One or PS4 in mind.
Well,
at
shit,
that
the
point,
cross-gen game's looking better. I looked at Gotham Frights gameplay, and holy shit.
I think at a certain point when developers move on, and now it's just about, and even if we include Switch, a lot of multiplats don't go to Switch because of the hardware. So there's many games that Switch misses on just because of the hardware.
Or it's a streaming version or whatever it is, cloud.
True. But I think ultimately, when this current gen kicks into full gear, Xbox Series S is the bottom denominator out of all platforms, and then it just goes up from there. And then that's just how it is.
It's going to be easier for everybody at that point.
Okay. This Xbox DR. This Xbox.
I'm sorry. I will say this.
Go ahead.
From my perspective, being a PlayStation fan, that only concerns me with third-party multiplats because that's where all of it lies. But as far as my first-party exclusives, I ain't got to worry about no Xbox Series S. That ain't my problem. PS5 ain't being held back at that point. That's an Xbox problem.
Well,
third-party multiplats, it is what it is.
You better hope Spider-Man 2 is not multi-gen.
Well,
or Wolverine. You just don't know.
Okay. I will say this though. Forbidden West looks really impressive for a cross-gen game. Really, really impressive. I don't know if they did a different build, but it looks really impressive. But yeah, I hope Sony also moves on from PS4 at that point and really take advantage. But Sony already showed a propensity to do that because they already have exclusive games. So it's just timing, I guess.
Yeah. So this Xbox DRM situation. So normally when like either console goes offline when they have an outage, I never even talk about it. But because I guess this was down 3 days, became a bigger conversation. So it was down like 3 days. I guess people couldn't play their games offline. So I don't know all the details because I don't have an Xbox. So yeah. I mean, y'all could get deeper into it, but so that's something that affects Xbox and not PlayStation. You could play your PlayStation games offline, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So
does this also affect the Windows Store? Like, when this thing went down, were people able to play Halo on PC but not Xbox?
Yeah, I mean, I first had the issue when I was trying to play Trek to Yomi, and I just went and played it on PC, and I was fine. But the only reason why I went that far is because I was trying to get Addict to like I was like, hey, we need to cancel our game share until the shit gets back up because I want to play my game. And he was like, nah, man. He was like, no, just wait it out, whatever. So I just played it on the PC. So apparently it wasn't like it didn't impact. I'm assuming I only tried with one game, and that was the only game I was playing at the time. But if I had to use that example, it didn't impact PC, and it wasn't consecutive like all. It was down all like the entire time. It was on and off because that day, the first day, I tried it. I was like, all right, whatever. Then I tried it later that night. I played. Then the next day, it was down again, and that's when I wanted to try to cancel the game share. And by Sunday, I had no more issues related to that. But some people were completely down. Some people said they didn't have the issue because of the whole My Home Xbox thing. I honestly don't know. I still to this day, Rand probably would have better intel on what occurred and who could have accessed games offline or online. I wasn't testing my console. Still haven't tested my console to see if I could play offline.
Well, the way Xbox's licensing system works is you get 2 licenses when you buy a digital game. You get a license to the console you bought it on, and a license to the account that bought it. Right. And Microsoft set up this home console system where you can essentially make someone else's console your home. So the license basically goes to that. And anytime you're logged into Xbox Live with the account, you can play it, whatever. So like I game share with one of my buddies, and I have been since 2014, which allows us to kind of trade off purchases. I'm sure Smoove does the same thing with Addict, right? So essentially I can buy every game at $30, right? And we get 2 copies. But the drawback from that is I cannot play my games offline. Right. Which it is what it is, like I know the consequences for doing it, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Now, if the way Microsoft has it, if you don't touch any of that stuff and your home console, that one that you're playing on is your home, you should have no problems whatsoever playing any of your games offline. The problem I think what happened here is Microsoft has their authentication servers and all that stuff when people buy games, and I think something happened with those where people were online and they would go to start a game or something, and it would reach out to the servers, and the servers would ping back that said person didn't own game. So even though they did, and even though they had the license, the servers were telling the console that they didn't actually have the permission to play, and it would block them from starting the game. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what happened. Jez had reached out to Microsoft to get some answers on that front, and yeah, I mean, it sucks. Nobody should be locked out of the games they purchase, especially if you're not game sharing like me and Kid Smoove are. If you're just doing exactly how Microsoft intended the system to work and you're locked out from your purchases, that's pretty shitty. But hopefully they found the flaw, they fixed it, and they won't ever have to deal with this again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, so our game share too, but I didn't have any issues with mine, so I don't know how widespread
I didn't have any issues either, so it seemed like it was kind of random. But
to explain that,
because so we did game night or Halo night with J Rock that night, and we played all night with no issues, no lagging out. I mean, there was some time it seemed like it was loading slow. I mean, but again, that could be somebody playing on the Xbox One version of the game and affecting everybody. So this it's kind of hard. So I'll say this: it doesn't have. I don't have too much of an issue with DRM per se because I haven't had this issue more than ever. So it's kind of like I get what everybody's saying is, hey, DRM, I want to own my stuff and I should be able to play offline. I agree with you guys on that totally. If they can fix that, they definitely need to make some updates and make some changes because that'll be a nice. Sorry about that. That'll be great for us Xbox owner, but for what it is, this doesn't happen that often. We don't run into these issues like this all the time. They launched cloud gaming for Fortnite, and again, you see the issues that it occurred. They weren't properly prepared, and when you're not prepared, things like this happen. But you get things back online, and you get back to running things. So for me, yes, I want to be able to play my games offline, and nobody should be affected that way. But is it as big as we made it out to be due to the fact that this doesn't happen often? Hopefully never again.
Question. Between game sharing and Game Pass, how these niggas making money?
It's funny. I've actually had that conversation with executives at Xbox about game sharing
and Game Pass. Like, how they making money?
Well, I mean, according to Phil, Game Pass is profitable. I mean, whether you not want to believe him or whatever, but I mean, Satya's the one who just gave him a $70 billion check to go buy Activision, so it's got to be happy with the performance so far. But
has he made a public statement saying that?
Yes, yes, he has. I'll find a video for it. I got it. He said, I was going to just piggyback on Porter Rock. That was the conversation we was having last time. He said profitable. Go ahead, Rand.
Game Pass and profitable. I have yet to see a statement from Phil saying that.
He said
there's quotes out there.
I seen sustainable. And
profitable?
I seen Game Pass. I read
asking about the third parties, not just Microsoft.
Yeah, no, but I saw him statement saying that Game Pass is sustainable, but every time the direct question about Game Pass being profitable, and this is so far what I've seen. So I would love to see this interview or article. He always kind of sidesteps it, brings up all of Xbox, and then say Xbox is profitable.
Yeah, well, maybe Game Pass isn't.
Yeah, if you read it between
you
read in between the lines, he sidesteps Game Pass and ensures that Xbox is profitable.
Yeah, because they're in user acquisition mode, so they're probably burning money to get users and then eventually be profitable. But what was I saying?
Didn't I tell you that last time? It's because they're looking at spending. If you look at the spending that it takes to them get where they are today, we talked about this, Porter Rock. Thank you, Rand, for backing up, and he talked to devs.
So, like, third parties get paid in various ways. Like, indie devs will get a lump sum. It really depends on what they want. So, I mean, nobody's forcing third parties or indie devs to put their games on Game Pass. Is that Microsoft comes in with a check and is like, here,
So with Microsoft, let's say buying Activision, right? That doesn't infer that Game Pass is profitable because Netflix did the same exact thing.
You're right.
They were borrowing money every single year for almost 14 years to keep up, so they could buy the new shows, buy the new content. Because ultimately, the end goal was when Netflix becomes profitable, they could sustain that system forever. So I understand Microsoft investing, but the question is, just right here, right now, is Game Pass profitable? And chances are, at 25 million subscribers, it's not at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft isn't very upfront about their numbers like PlayStation is or Nintendo is.
Or
but I mean, like
PlayStation not anymore.
You would imagine, like, if Satya thought the Xbox brand had no future or wasn't doing what he thought, he wouldn't greenlight a $70 billion expenditure, like the largest purchase in Microsoft history.
Amen.
Right? I mean,
well, the thing is, Satya's all about that, though. I mean, look at Microsoft Office is a subscription service. Like, you can't buy Office anymore.
Sure, no, it fits into Microsoft's overarching like theme of like game subscription services and the cloud.
Yes.
And that's probably Phil's greatest thing he ever did was selling that stuff to Satya and forcing Satya to invest in Xbox like they never did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I mean, who knows if it's profitable right now? And you're right, he may sidestep that and say it's sustainable. But he's on record saying the division itself is profitable. So, it's interesting.
And Podorock, that goes back to what I was saying. Like, you can if the loss is is within your margins, then you can say sustainable because you know that this thing will balance itself out eventually because of the amount of spending that they're putting towards gaming, and they're looking to gain that profit back via Game Pass. So that's why I was saying last time, again, Twitter was having issues, is that they're probably got within a profit margin and saying, even though it's an L right now, we're within margins where eventually this ship will turn around and we're going to profit more than we spend on gaming.
So I completely agree with that logic. The thing was, when we were talking about that on Twitter Spaces, it was in comparison to PlayStation. And what I was saying is, PlayStation's making profit now. They're not going to adopt this model. Like, imagine you're working for PlayStation and you tell your board members, hey, I got a great idea. Let's do subscription service so we can start losing money for the next 7 years. They're going to look at you like, we're more profitable than we were ever been. And now you're telling us to lose money? You're fired.
Right.
And that's the point I was trying to make. What's good for Microsoft and their intended goal is not the same for Sony to adopt. And that's the point I was saying. It's two different strategies that's working for their company because ultimately they have their own ultimate goal.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think, and this for all the ponies, just playing, all the PlayStation guys, do you think eventually they're going to have to, or they're going to be forced to? Let's say Microsoft hits on all cylinders. They're delivering every quarter. They're gaining subscriptions. Irregardless of what's going on in PlayStation and how they've been profitable, do you think they'll be forced to move into that decision of putting their first party games?
The only thing that could force Sony to do anything is if they're losing money and not making money.
Right.
Because look at Microsoft, right? So Sony's hitting on all cylinders. They're the top publisher, yet Microsoft's still doing what they want to do. So it's not really, oh shit, Microsoft making money subscription service. Now if Sony's strategy is still making them money, still making them profit, they're just gonna do what they do. The only time they need to force anything is when shit's going wrong. Like, oh snap, like we're losing users or everybody's leaving PlayStation for Xbox because of Game Pass. Then Sony will be forced to do something to mitigate issues. But
I think it depends. I think Jim Ryan even said he doesn't know what the future is going to hold. Even in that article when they came out with PS Plus, that very first thing he said, we're not doing day one Game Pass, or we're not putting our games day one on PlayStation. And he said, well, if we don't do this, we're going to have to lower our investment, and that's not good for our fans and our games. But then he literally went on to say, but I don't know how the future is going to change. Maybe people expect this in the future. Maybe Xbox eats into their market share. Maybe, we already know Sony's making a bunch of live service games. Like, is Sony going to sell those live service games for $70 in an era where all these other live service games are free to play or on a subscription service of some kind? Right? Like, so I don't know. Like, Porter Rock's right. Like, they'll probably, if something drastically changes where Sony's, income level drops, their revenue, they might consider it. I'm of the opinion, I think if Sony were to go to a day one subscription model, I think they'd have more subs almost overnight than Game Pass has, because I think a lot of Sony's games are more impactful. Like, you put a Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation Plus day one, I mean, you're gonna get millions upon millions of subscribers. Same like God of War Ragnarok. Like, come on, like Sony has these big blockbuster games that people really buy in large quantities. Like, you would think that a lot of those PlayStation fans would then subscribe as well. So, like, I don't really see how they couldn't rack up 50, 60 million subscribers and potentially make more money that way in the future than selling it individually at 70. But, you know, I'm not Jim Ryan, so
I just think Jim Ryan is putting them in a place if they need a pivot. You know, I don't think it's. Right. I'm not. You know, I'm not sure. You know, one way or another, like so many other people. I just think he's like on the back end, like, yo, get this shit ready just in case. that's what I think he's hedging their
bets. Remember when they were hedging their bets with PC? Don't worry about Horizon. It's just one game. It's just one game, and all the rest of them aren't going to come. And then a year later, like, hey, we got the whole slate coming. Everything's coming to PC. I mean, they say what they need to say at the time, you know. So it's like right now the time is to investors. We can't do it because our games are this quality and they think it'll go down. Who knows how the market changes in 4 years? And Jim left it out saying that they don't know. So
well, Rand, I don't even think it's their first party games. My bad, Broken, but I don't even think it's their first party game that they're talking about. I think it's the third party investment that they'll have to make in order for it to be successful. Because yes, you can put your own first party in there, but that's only going to get you so far. It's the third party content that we see from Microsoft that's getting added every month. You know, something that sometimes is spontaneous. You didn't know it was going to come this month, and it just happened. And so I think I think it's not necessarily their first party content. It's the third party investment that they will have to make.
No, I think it is the first party because that's what they're specifically saying. So we gotta listen to what they're saying specifically.
That's true.
They specifically said first party AAA.
Right.
They didn't say indies. They didn't say third party.
But if you go back to what Randolph was saying, you say what you need to say at the moment.
True.
And the moment's notice, it changes. That's true. So that's where I'm looking at it from. Is we've seen these things change really, really fast, especially with Jim Ryan. Yeah, and it's not that it's bad. It's just the guy got to make a change because he see where the success is. He see where the conversation is and where the money is going. And so, you got to make changes. You need to be ready for it on the fly.
Yeah, and plus he might not even be the boss in 3 years, right? So he can't make a decision on a company, right? But you got to look at this when for Sony's looking at when they're talking about their first party AAA, they're looking at 20 million selling games. They're not talking about the 2-3 million. So from their perspective, like Spider-Man sells 20 million, Horizon sells 20 million, God of War sells 20 million, Last of Us sells 20 million. Like we put these games day one on these platforms, they're not going to sell 20 million anymore. They're just not. It's not going to happen. The sales would be dramatically cut at that. So I think what they're specifically talking about is first party AAA. I think that we're going to see because they had Shadow Warrior day one on PS Now like a month or two ago, right? They had Oddworld Odyssey day one on PS Plus, Drawn to Death, Rocket League. So Sony has done day one games on a subscription service, so the concept of day one games on subscription is not new to Sony. They've done it before. They just never did it to Spider-Man or to Gran Turismo or to these big blockbuster titles. So I think we just need to specifically see what Sony's coming from. What Sony's really saying is, if we know this game's going to sell 20 million, we're not going to put it day one because we know this is going to be the high top selling big blockbuster game. But hey, this little indie from Housemarque, I know we might throw a bone, or if we get Odyssey 2 or some other third party, they even did like Grand Theft Auto. That was day one, right? The remastered or whatever.
So they got 3. I think it was.
Month later, they got 3 in Vice City, right? Or 3 is 3.
Yeah. So they've done day one games. I think what they're trying to say is you're not going to get God of War day one. You're not going to get Spider-Man. You're not going to see Wolverine day one. You're not going to see Spider-Man 2 day one. You're not going to see the next Naughty Dog day one. But you might see some indies, maybe a third party, because at that point, you're not gobbling the whole exclusive game. You're just putting a little extra cash to put it day one on PS Now, which is not the same as a first party exclusive. So I think you're going to see day one titles. It's just not going to be their big AAA day one that they think is going to be them 15, 20 plus million. Because let's be honest. This is the first gen that Sony first party sold 20 million. If you look at PlayStation 1, 2, 3, they don't sell 20 million. None of them. None of those games I think the highest selling was Gran Turismo at 14, 15 million. They never had a game that sold 20 million, let alone 4 in the same gen. That's not normal. And they're probably like on a high like they never been on before. They're like, holy shit, this is new to us. And I think they're trying to maintain that momentum.
Right.
Yo, Jack, you here, dog? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack gonna get into it. He letting them get it off
still
right
waiting
now.
for Octopath Traveler. That's all Jack cares about. He's still pissed off. Octopath is not on PlayStation.
We gonna get into the Starfield and the Redfall stuff right after this. So right after this one. So the Sony CFO pretty much came out and said, as a result, this related to the financial reports and everything like that. He pretty much reiterated, similar to what Jim Ryan said months ago, about the quality of PlayStation titles, deteriorating if they put games, their first party games, into a subscription service, and all the mathematicians, the armchair CFOs. All the dudes with business degrees came out on Twitter and started doing the math themselves and said, nope, he's wrong. It could work this way. And my thing is, like, once again, I don't know, but I'm going to trust this man over y'all. I'll trust any CFO over any dudes on Twitter. Because, you look at these dudes' resumes, whether it's the Microsoft CFO, the Sony CFO, these dudes manage banks when they were like 30 years old. Right now, they're in their 60s, managing the money of huge billion-trillion-dollar corporations. So I'm like, you know what, bro? No offense. I ain't going to listen to you on Twitter. I'm going to listen to that guy. So... Am I the only one who think it's crazy that like dudes be doing their own math when they don't actually have all the numbers?
I mean, doing math when you don't have like the budgets of the games and their projected revenue and sale. Yeah, I mean it's we don't have the full picture. So I wouldn't do that.
I mean, all it is a bunch of people pretty much taking the sides of the CFO, the VP or whatever, or their preferred platform. Sony says it's not that quality is going to go down. Xbox says it's sustainable. So the Xbox fans are going to be like, all right, it's sustainable. Game Pass works. PlayStation's fans will be like, no, it doesn't work. You see, here's our proof. I mean, at the end of the day, I think both parties are saying, both can be right. Yeah. In this scenario, both can be right because whatever applies to Sony, to Microsoft may not apply to Sony and vice versa. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, and people get it like twisted. I'm not mad or upset that PlayStation doesn't want to put its games in its subscription service. You know what I mean? I don't have like an issue with that. But the thing is that the thing I can't stand is the fact that people take Sony logic and try to apply like, all right, this is what it is. This is why it doesn't work. And I'm like, you can't do that. But
okay.
I think personally, so I agree with Smoove. Right? A lot of it's the conversation, the arguments, whatever. I think what it comes down to, if everybody's just calm and looking at it, it's just you got two different perspectives of the same system, and then like for the Xbox side, it's sustainable, but the fan base within Xbox is happy because they get to enjoy value and they got access to a whole bunch of games. Maybe some of these guys didn't buy a lot of games, and now this is the first time they actually had a library of games. You know what I'm saying? And and that's not throwing shade, but there's probably games.
They happy?
They could be. Hey, that's on them. That's for them to decide, right? If they're happy and they're enjoying this content, you never know. I think we all agree that on every platform, there's gamers that only maybe buy 1 or 2 games a year, if that. I think we all agree. Every platform has that group of gamers where by the end of the gen, they maybe play 20 games, right? We have those guys, right? A system like Game Pass opens the door for them where, hey, you don't have to do this huge financial investment, but you still get a huge amount of titles, right? And there's a lot of gamers that are happy about that, right? On the PlayStation side want those quality, big budget titles from their opinion, right? And Sony's been delivering that. And they don't want a system that could potentially harm that. And that's really what it is, right? And the reason why they have this assumption of fear is because they look at Xbox and like, wham, look at Xbox. They're kind of dry over there. Issues. I don't want that to on PlayStation, and there could be a false equivalency that Game Pass could be maybe an issue to reason why this is happening. There's no proof to that, but it's just a fear. So on the PlayStation side, hey, we're happy the way the system is. You make quality titles. We're not doing anything different that we haven't done the last 10 generations. A game comes out, you buy it, or you wait for a sale, and there you go, and you play it. It's the same system we did on Nintendo, Super NES, Genesis, N64, yada, yada, yada. We're not doing anything different than we haven't done generations before. A game comes out, you buy it or you don't buy it, or you wait for a sale. But ultimately, it's the quality of the titles that we want. We don't want that to change.
Right.
Whether it's valid or invalid, or we're just being fear-mongering, whatever it is, Sony's fine the way they're doing. Just push the quality content. We'll pay our $70. If we don't want to buy $70, there's GameFly, or we'll buy it used, or we'll wait for sales. And we know Sony games, they go on sale real quick. It's not like Nintendo. Yep. Like if they were like Nintendo, there would be a problem. They don't go 6 years at $70. they just don't. Them shits is on sale and within 2 months. You know, you buy $70 games 2 months later, $49. And you're like, oh shit. So you
Ratchet is already on sale right now from Amazon.
Yeah, you could wait. I mean, believe me, unless you really want to play a game day one, you wait about a month or two, that shit's dropping price real quick. Like PlayStation games, for whatever reason, don't hold value like Nintendo. I don't know. I can't explain why, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I think that's all it is. One fan base is happy because of this system. Another fan base is happy because of that system. My opinion, each platform can have its own unique identity. Why? They don't need to be the same. Let PlayStation do PlayStation. Let Xbox do Xbox. Let Nintendo do Nintendo. And then you decide what you want to pay for. And then leave it at that.
And just to add a tidbit to that, it's funny when I see PlayStation guys talk about, oh, it didn't sell hard copies. I'm like, they make more money you buying it digital because they didn't have to ship it to you. They didn't have to ship it to a brick and mortar, so you can go buy it and they have to pay 3 or 4 different people before they can get their check or as they get their cut. And so it's funny that you just said that. That's why I be like, I when I see those numbers charts pop up, I'm like, dude, come on. PlayStation probably wants you to buy digital. They're only providing you the hardware or the hard copy because you're asking for it. But more than anything, they want you to buy that digital version. Because even if they give a discount, there's still more profit margins in a digital sale than they would if they did a hard copy sale.
Sony reported 71% of their game sales is digital. So like PlayStation Nation's hard on like, oh, hard copy, but the majority of PlayStation guys are buying their games digital.
Right. I can tell you the last time I bought a physical game, bro.
Yeah, it's all digital. Yeah, majority is all digital. But it's good to have the option for physical, but the majority of purchases are digital. And Sony even went a step further. They don't allow digital purchases in stores. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they did this like 2-3 years ago. You can't buy a game card. Like you can't go to a store and say, oh, let me buy Elden Ring as a digital thing from Amazon or whatever. They don't sell those games no more. Like you could only get digital games from the Sony store, nowhere else. There is no store that sells Sony digital games at this console, whatever. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, like you can walk into Best Buy and get like a game digital on a digital card right
for
now.
Xbox. But on PlayStation you can't. The only thing you could get is just PlayStation Money or the PS Now cards or the PS Plus cards. That's it.
Yeah.
There is no digital purchases in stores. They pretty much consolidated to just their store. So now Amazon or Best Buy can't even get a cut of the digital purchases. No one gets the cut.
They should make it collectibles. Yeah. They should make the hard copy, the physical collectibles, versus making it a game. They should just put in the collectibles category. That way, people buy less. Because I keep seeing in the comments where people are like, well, what about the people who want to buy it as a collectible? Yeah, charge them a little more.
But I think you can't force them though. I think the physical. I think the physical is just goodwill for the people that still want to do it, because it's still 29%. So that's still significant. When 29% of your purchases is physical, that's still a significant margin. It's not like if it was 2% or 3%, then that would be like, all right, we're cutting our losses.
BG, do you remember? You're probably gonna be the only one that remembers this because this is so far back. Remember when like guys like the Truth Setting You Free were hating on people that would gamefly shit? And they're saying, "Oh, you guys support the devs."
Oh, I remember.
And they would gamefly anyway and be like, "Well, I got a family and everything." Like this whole shit is kind of going full circle.
Remember Redbox Station?
Yep. Remember, support the
Redbox
devs.
Station.
Don't use Redbox. Don't use GameFly. Support the devs. Don't buy used. Then it became, oh well, I got a family and I don't care about them. I care
have a
about
wife
me.
and kids. Shout out to Persona.
What was it?
Yeah.
What was Total Recall? I got 5 kids to feed.
Oh man! All right, it's time to get to the biggest news of the week. So, unless you were living under a rock, you've already learned Starfield and Redfall were delayed, right? So these were the two. Well, Starfield was the really big game, coming from Xbox and Bethesda this year. It's the game, really the only game they were looking forward. Xbox fans were looking forward to. Redfall, it was kind of, here and there. People weren't sure about it. We haven't seen gameplay for either one. There was some leaked gameplay of Redfall, I think. But yeah, these were the two games, right? It got delayed, and Twitter turned into a shitstorm. The jokes ensued. The Baron box, the Sahara box. 5-hour Twitter Spaces. And the delay itself wasn't necessarily the bad thing or the reason the shit was so big. It was simply that currently there is no other Xbox like first party game that we know of coming out. We could learn more about something at E3, and I'm gonna give Phil Spencer the benefit of the doubt that they're strategically delaying this now and gonna announce something at E3. I'm gonna give my boy Phil the benefit of the doubt. I believe that, right?
Me too.
But it's bad. It was a bad day, right? And I think this might have been the first time I've ever seen like a publisher come out, and announce like, listen, both our games are being delayed. I don't know if I've ever, really seen that. So it was just a bad day overall. And it's the last game that Xbox dropped first party. That was Halo Infinite, which dropped in December. So if they don't actually release anything the rest of the year, that's actually going to be 12 months. But like I said, I'm gonna give Phil the benefit of the doubt. And it looked really bad because they have more studios than anybody. And what is it? I don't know. I've heard different numbers. I've heard 30, 40. What's the official number, Rand, of the actual studios they own? Rand? No.
They're muted.
Okay.
You muted, Rand.
All of them.
He might not be there right now.
So I think it's 25. I think
they're 23 currently. 23 now, and then when Activision goes through, it goes to 30 or something.
Okay, so it's a lot.
It's a combination of studio and teams. I think it's 30 teams and like 23 studios. I just can't remember exactly what that figure is. Like you said, either way, it was a sticker shock. It was we all had the sticker shock. I mean, even for PlayStation guys knew that this was going to come ruin their year because it was definitely going to win Gotti of the year.
No, it wasn't.
So I know it hurt everybody's feelings. It was a relief for the PlayStation guys, but for Xbox guys, it was like, dude, what the crap? And I think in that moment, because it was such a big announcement, that we all, responded in a way that, that seemed like we're all against Xbox. Like I tweeted out the next day, I said I had a day to breathe. I said gaming doesn't stop irregardless. I've been gaming before it, and I'll be gaming after this announcement. Like I said, I'm not excited about it. It was bad all the way around, guys. Don't start beating me up about it. I'm still staying on it. They shouldn't have done that. But I wonder if it has something more to do with other nuances than just the game itself. Like Redfall, we didn't see anything. I expected that game to get delayed.
Starfield either.
Hold on. But we seen them build up to it. That's the shocker
part.
Build
up to nothing. You haven't seen.
Yeah, they build up to nothing. They build up to nothing at this point. But
y'all niggas are playing the same game you've been playing since 2013.
Hey,
hope. Like BG said, I'll give for the benefit of the doubt. Y'all, it's almost been a decade of hope.
Hey, look, I'm with you. Anything goes at this point. Anything that's related to the Starfield, banter, hope, whatever you want to call it, misleading, the lies, whatever, anything goes at this point. But like I said, they were building up to a point in which if Starfield came out, it would have been beautiful. But because it didn't, it just ruined everything. And you have to ask him, why did you even put this out? Or why did you even put videos out that you're going to release this game? And then the fact that you go in the day before and take pictures smiling and then say, hey, yeah, we're going to delay this 6 months. I was like, boy, that's about the most BS I've ever seen from
It was disrespectful.
It was.
I mean, they were out to lunch. They were out to lunch. They were doing, the circle, the dev circle and everything, talking about how great the game is going to be. Just all of that, going on a world tour and everything in the game. They clearly knew at some point, like within like a month before, like, yeah, we're not going to make this date, because if you delay the game 7 months before the actual release date, then you been knew like you ain't gonna make it, Right. So, and something else that somebody pointed out that like kind of made the situation really bad for Xbox is PlayStation has released a first party game on Xbox this year, and Xbox hasn't.
Shit.
And that's MLB The Show.
That, but it's true.
And I thought about that. I'm like, yo, that's kind of crazy. That's really nuts.
Yeah. It's. I mean, like, it was a sad day. It still is. I mean, it's still disheartening because, like I said, y'all know me. I vouch for this on Twitter all day. I'm all about Starfield. I'm all about Bethesda. I'm a huge fan of their games. Played, beat pretty much all of them. But not all the Fallouts, but I beat majority of them. And I love the Bethesda games. And it's when they delayed it, it was like I took a vacation for this, guys. I already scheduled my vacation. I was like, hey, don't ask for me.
Y'all you took a vacation on hope?
Hey, I took a vacation on a date. I took a vacation on a date, not hope.
My man,
on a date.
My man said, hey, son, you're going to have to graduate another day. Keep watching this showcase.
I'm telling you, anything, you get any kind of rewards. I ain't there. You call me a deadbeat on 11/22, 11/11/22. You call me a deadbeat at that point because I am playing Starfield and I don't want to be bothered for an entire week.
This is nuts. People are taking vacations on something they've never even seen gameplay for.
Hey, but we expected to see it in June. See, this whole mantra that, hey, there was nothing, there was something they built to it. They gave us a date when they're going to release content. Hold on.
First or third person.
But you're acting as if there was no like I can see if this was Wolverine and they say, hey, we're delaying Wolverine. You don't have a date. You don't have any content out there. You don't have a build up to it. That makes sense. But you're talking to guys who they gave a firm date. They put it in their video 11/11/2022. We knew that was going to come out, and we knew they said, "Hey, we're not going to launch it here."
Hold on. About the game.
Well, listen to what I'm saying though. They put information out there.
Hold on. It's going to be Rihanna or like Beyonce. Listen, this bitch could be fat as fuck.
It's Bethesda with Microsoft budget. I just told you I'm a huge fan of their craft.
BG, we've heard this story before. Tell them what happened last time.
I'm not worried about anybody else's story.
Yeah, tell them what happened.
Yeah, Cyberpunk fans were not very happy. Turned out to be the biggest disaster in gaming.
Yeah, but that was also fanboy faults and freaking
fanboy faults and Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red's faults.
Yeah, but a lot of it has to do with the investors. They missed a lot of their own deadlines because of their own lack of preparations. We didn't get a lot of that.
Just missed the deadline.
That just happened though. But everything leading up to that date, we heard, hey, we're going to have a showcase at our E3. We're going to have the date is already locked in. They put all these. I've already said it. Microsoft has to deliver on the deliverables, and they didn't. And that's the same for Bethesda.
Did or did not?
They did not. They didn't. I'm sorry, and they didn't make that clear. They're still going to show this game this June, but it almost doesn't matter because it doesn't come out.
And it better be an amazing showing.
Look, man, it better be. It better be.
You know what Microsoft, Bethesda, and their game studios are right now? They're fucking Ben Simmons. What the fuck they are? Oh, it's coming.
You have to go that bad now.
Playing. Oh, game 2. Oh, game 3. Oh, next series. Oh, next month. Oh, he's going to be on the bench. Oh, he's going to make the team. We haven't even seen the nigga on the court yet. like this is really crazy that
Everything
People are
goes.
altering their lives and planning vacations. And like I said, nobody can even tell me if this game is in first or third person. That's how little we know of the game.
We assume first, and it's going to transition to third in some situations. That's how some of their games go, right?
Well, we
don't know.
We assumed that Cyberpunk would be third person like The Witcher. And then when they said first person, people are like, oh shit, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. We have no idea what this game is going to be like. And I've never seen more people hyped for a game from a developer that has not put out an amazing game in over a decade. And for a game that has not had anything shown.
And that's fine. I get what you're saying. Your points, you can make those points. However, it's still Bethesda and we know what they've done. This is
the last 11 years.
Hey, but they also haven't had the budget that they just had. They just got introduced to when they got bought out by Microsoft. So we know what they can do and the capabilities.
Games, if we've learned anything about games, budget never does really anything as opposed to talent. You'll actually find more quality games.
But you can find the talent. You'll
actually find more quality games with lower levels of budgets than
they're actually apparently now in the industry. Like that's the real problem now in the industry is the talent and keeping it, and that's why that's what they say.
Didn't people like Fallout 5 though? That was like 2015, right?
Fallout 4 was amazing.
Fallout 4.
I love Fallout 4.
You stepped down from Fallout 3.
I mean, yeah, true, but I mean, people still enjoyed the game, right? I mean, it wasn't a Fallout 76.
Yeah, Danger was in that.
Fallout 76 came out later.
Right, but I'm saying like Fallout 4, even if it wasn't as good as 3, was nowhere near like as bad as Fallout 76
terrible,
was.
But it's also
Elder Scrolls Online was great. Skyrim was great. Oblivion was great. And they're doing more.
Skyrim and Oblivion are 11, 15 years.
I get that. But let's look at what they said. Like Porter Rock said, let's take the information that they gave us. They said this is going to be more relatable to the Skyrim series, not the Fallout series. So when you get excited for those type of, hey, bigger budget, this is the game we've been wanting to make for 11 years or whatever years. I think it was like 20 or some odd years they wanted to make this game. Never had the budget, never had the approval.
Jack, I'm having a headache and I really need your help with this one.
Keep going.
Jack, I really need your help. What's that?
So let me say this.
I can't even say the word anymore. This individual works for Nintendo. This individual, or that individual, because we can't use gendered pronouns. So the new name is that individual. That individual used to be the individual, but people kept talking about him like he was still, or that individual was still amazing.
You talking about Sean Layden?
Well, see, I can't. That man wasn't. They were about that man in the current era like he was in the prior era. It's two different eras. You can't take what somebody did over a decade ago and apply it now to today with 100% certainty. It doesn't work like that.
There was never.
We have to rename him to that individual now, Jack, because you can't say man anymore.
You were gonna So who's gonna go? Porter Rock? I think you were gonna.
Yeah. So I'll say this to play devil's advocate for Logical. I can understand being hyped for a game based on the developers. Like for example, I'm hyped for Wolverine, but I didn't see no gameplay. All I saw was just a bar in Nashville where everybody got fucked up, and then some claws. But I'm basing that off of Insomniac's pedigree. But at the same time, I didn't say in this podcast that, Wolverine is going to be Game of the Year. I didn't do that either. I kept, what I'm saying? So it's just a level check. You can say, hey, I'm excited for this game. The developer traditionally does this. I'm looking forward to it. It's just how far you're willing to take that hype. I'm not going to say Wolverine is going to be Game of the Year 2024 contender. I'm not going to do that. I'm just looking forward to seeing if they could replicate the magic of bringing this character to life in the same way they did with Spider-Man. And that's about it. That's as far as I'm going to go. But I'm not going to be out there talking my shit and say, 2024, I don't care what game comes out, you're done. I'm not doing that.
What's the topic here? I had to take my dog out. What's the topic?
Redfall and Redfall and Starfield. So, we're on the delay now. So
we're in the main course, huh?
Yeah. So what did you when you first saw this news, Rand, and you went through throughout the day? What were your thoughts?
He knew last week it was getting delayed.
No.
Stop lying, man. You knew last week.
No. I had my The problem is, I get like zero Bethesda information, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like locked down tighter than Fort Knox. I had feelings that Redfall was getting delayed. In fact, I've been kind of like talking about that, I don't know, months now on the podcast, being like, I don't think Redfall's summer. I think it might get delayed to fall. Clearly, they delayed it later. I was honestly shocked that Starfield got delayed. Because I know what else Xbox has in the pipeline, and I know they don't really have much, especially in a year when they don't have any other announced games. So I knew this was going to be very, very, it was going to be a time on Twitter and social media. Like, I was just like, oh man, people are going to go crazy. People are going to go nuts. This is a product of Microsoft's late investment of Xbox.
Yes. Amen.
This is 100% that. Like, none of the studios that Microsoft acquired are essentially ready to put anything out. Like, and I know, BG, you listen to the Xbox 2 sometimes. I saw you there last week when I said Pokemon's garbage.
Yeah, it was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Don't do that, brother. I love you. Don't hurt my heart like that.
I'll co-sign that statement. I got you, Ran.
Yeah. Pokemon's not, but I told this to Kid Smoove like over a year and a half ago. I said, Kid, all their games are 2023 and beyond. And Kid was depressed because he thought they would be more. You know what I'm talking? You remember this kid, right?
Yeah, I remember the conversation. Yeah,
I was like, all their stuff is 2023 and beyond because I knew what their pipeline was. I know how it got affected by COVID. Everything essentially got pushed a year, right? So I was like, don't expect anything in 2023 or 2022. And that's where Bethesda came in clutch because Bethesda had 2 games essentially for 2022, and I'm like, well, if that holds, at least we'll have Starfield and Redfall.
Right.
And then it got pushed. And that really exposed essentially the late investment in Xbox because you talk about last year, you talk about 2021, and people will talk, Xbox had a great year, right? They had Metacritic Publisher of the Year. Quality seems to be there. But, to do that, they had to delay 2 games from 2020, right? Because 2021 was only going to be Forza Horizon 5. That was it.
Right.
Until they delayed Halo, until they delayed Psychonauts 2. Right, and they had the late port of Flight Sim. 2022, like, I don't know what is going to be announced at the Game Showcase. Like, I have an idea, but I don't know. Like, release dates are kind of wonky now. Like, who knows when anything's coming out, right? So, like, if I had to guess, Forza Motorsport might be ready this year. The Project Belfry potentially could come out. Josh Sawyer's game, Pentiment, that Obsidian's been working on. I think that might be ready. There's been rumors for a while now about a Gears collection, like remade in Unreal Engine 5, like 1, 2, and 3 could potentially release. Because there was no games they could delay from 2021 to 2022 to make it look better, you delay these huge games, and it just exposes that, like, Jesus, like, what went wrong, right? Like, how is there nothing here? And I'll say I'm incredibly disappointed. Like, I was really looking forward to Starfield. Like, I'm a sucker for sci-fi, right? And I like Elder Scrolls a lot. So I'm like, I'm down for whatever they're doing. Like Redfall, even though I like the vampire stuff is kind of I still am a big fan of Arcane. Like, I love Dishonored and I love Prey and I really like Deathloop. So I'm like, I'm there day one because, like Porter Rock said about, the pedigree of Insomniac with Wolverine, like. The pedigree for me with Arcane's there, so I'm excited.
Yep.
So you move both those games, and it's like, man, Xbox got nothing. And it's like, all right, well, fuck, right? I guess you're waiting again. But this is where this broke people. This is the straw that broke people's. Yeah. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. The saying, right? Because now you're essentially telling Xbox fans to wait again, and people have been waiting for years. Like, we all were like, hey, Xbox, you need to invest in first party. And I've had
2018,
I've had so many conversations with Phil in 2015 and 2016 when he would ask me what he needs to do, what and I'd be like, number one, you need to invest.
He needs to put you on payroll. That's what he needs to do first.
Hold
no,
up.
I mean, I'm not.
What he should do?
Yeah, he asked Rand what he should do.
I would be in conversations with Phil, and we would talk about my feelings toward Xbox and what I thought needed to be done and stuff. And my first thing was you need to buy more studios. You can't go into the next generation with 5, right? You need more studios, and you need quality assurance so these games are good, right? And Phil was always you're not going to tell me what his plans were, but that was essentially my thing, because that's what I wanted from Xbox, because I felt like that's where they were lacking tremendously, and was their first party games, especially compared to the PlayStation.
My number, put me on the payroll, because Jack will attest. When I was telling Smoove they need to be buying studios, Smoove was telling me, no, they don't. They're fine. you remember, right, Jack?
No, with 5.
But here's the thing, Rand. But Rand, what's so weird is when they had 5 studios, they still figured out a way to drop at least one major game each year. Now they have 20 something, and it's I know.
Yeah, that's
it's weird.
Well, the investment decreased, and then Phil got the promotion, and then the investment came back. But all the studios they ended up buying all had previous contracts they had to, fulfill. So you're ending up in this situation where, like I said, anybody who's listening to my podcast, I was telling people, the first 2 years of this generation is going to be light for Xbox. There's nothing there, and so I don't think anybody who listens to Xbox 2 is oh yeah, well, this is a surprise. But this opens up the whole management issues. People talk about how can this be, especially because when you have 23 studios, with Activision you have 30. How can you not get out one game?
Yeah.
How can you not do that? And
you got to put focus somewhere.
Yeah, it's just I can't really, want people will be well, Phil's bad at his job, or Matt Booty doesn't know what he's doing, or whatever. And it's I disagree with the people that say they have bad management, but it's I don't know any different than you guys. I don't have any extra inside information. I don't know, if these games are in bad states, or what's going on at Undead Labs or Initiative or Bethesda. I just feel for the I just feel for Xbox fans, because Kid Smoove's been out here for years being the best bot, and I want him to live his best life and be proud and out there, right? And every single time it seems something happens, and it's just and people I also think some of this is because, let's be honest here, BG, right? Let's be honest. A lot of Xbox guys are feeling a certain way because PlayStation guys are going to make fun of them for the next year, right?
Right.
It has a lot to do with it. You're going to get trolled. Porter's going to be on Twitter trolling people and stuff, right?
Rand, hold on. I'm not the soldier on the field. I'm the commander-in-chief. I got my forces. The Ukraine will be mine. All right? I got the forces in position.
I just need that W for Smoove. Not for me. I'm fine. I'm disappointed, but I'm not angry. This isn't anything to get angry about. There's real world issues to get angry about. Roe versus Wade and how that's going to affect my sisters. I'm angry about that. I'm not angry that 2 games get delayed. And if they didn't delay these games and Starfield came out, and Starfield was bad, Bond's been saying about Bethesda's games last 10 years, we would have crucified them for being bad, and then the narrative would have been, worse. Hey, Xbox can't make good games. What's going on?
Right.
So it's
that would have been worse. That would have been absolutely
needs the delay, right? The game needs the delay.
But that's why I said the delay isn't really the problem. It's the fact that you have nothing else.
Yeah, that was the heartbreaker, right? Yeah. So it reminded me, it's when Halo Infinite got pushed out of launch. People was well, why are you mad? I was because they got nothing else they announced for launch. I'm there's no backup. And so I'm all right, we'll wait to the fucking no. They announced the Halo delay after the fucking showcase, so that was worse. So that's why I was up in my feelings there, because there was well, what are they gonna do? Give us a surprise event? I was nah, it is what it is. We got Yakuza, right? And then with this event, it's just okay, so I went into 2022 with 2 confirmed fucking games. Right. And they were both delayed on the same day. I'm well, then what the hell's coming out then?
Yeah.
I was Scorn? That's not the game. I'm not even looking forward to Scorn. So that's where it bothers me, is the fact it'd be different if last year they announced all these games coming out in 2022 and then Starfield was the biggest one and that was pushed along with Redfall. Then I'm not as mad. I could fight my way out of Twitter wars with that. But the problem was I can't because I was like, well, damn, I don't know what's coming out.
It's empty. It does. It feel like it's man. It feel like it's unfinished. This year's it's already done. That's the problem. Like our Xbox ended when this announcement came. At least that's how it felt. And again, that's why this showcase has to say we're putting all these games day and date in Game Pass. And this is go back to the Porter Rock conversation about profitability. They may have to tweak that margins and increase it because they have to put out something in Game Pass, or they have to put out some type of third party that gives us an up, to feel valued, as appreciated, as a consumer, because we held out for these two games. Like I said, this is why we kept saying this is part of the reason why we said it's the game of the year, because again, it was Xbox's
Y'all not
biggest launch.
appreciated.
Yeah, so that's what it comes down to.
So
one thing I am happy about is I won't have to hear y'all dumbasses be screaming in November and December about PlayStation got no games.
That's the other thing, Bond.
The calendar because now they got no games come fall Christmas time.
That's the other thing. It's like sometimes, like, okay, you trolled the PlayStation fans when they had nothing last year in the holidays, right? And the PlayStation fans trolled you
2 months,
right? When they had a Returnal and Ratchet, and then. Okay, the PlayStation fans trolled back when they had Horizon and Gran Turismo, and the Xbox fans were like, well, we got stuff for the end of the year, but now that ammunition is gone, right? Like, dude, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there is like a legit civil war going on in the Xbox community.
Yeah, bro.
Especially today.
Yeah, I mean, was it Fun versus Xbox era, the Uni versus this dude? Like,
Xbox One. Yeah.
Corrections. This is not a war.
And Colt. Yeah.
This is not a war. This is a genocide. There's no war. It's over.
You need Smoove. Smoove, do me a favor, please.
2013, Xbox got no games.
But do me a favor, Smoove.
Almost a decade later.
What do I?
Hey, on a serious note,
do not make a bet with Bond about Xbox for the next year and a half.
Don't do it ever.
Give it a year and a half at least.
Bet on sports.
Fuck up out of here.
Leave gaming out of your
preppers.
Bet on
out of
sports.
here.
And the bet I need you to make for me, kid Smoove, right now is the Cowboys won't win a Super Bowl. Make that bet. If you can do that for me, but do not vote anything.
Not logical. Not even Smoove can help you out there, bro. You need a lot more than that. No, but all seriously, I think so we all agree. I think every gamer, reasonable gamer, could agree that delays are good for the game itself. Because we don't want a GAT game release, right? But I think the reason why Xbox is getting hit hard is not just because, specifically to 2022, we got potentially no games other than maybe Forza Motorsport 8. But it just seems like this is the same conversation we keep having over and over, going back to last year. It just seems like there's not a year where we really this doesn't come up. Going back to like 4 or 5 years ago. It seems like every year,
it's going back to 2013.
it just keeps bringing up like what's going on, and after a while the conversation gets old, right? I think it's kind of old, because it's not like PlayStation didn't go through it with the PS4. We all remember Sparse. I think we all remember that, where it was very light. But I think the difference between Sony and Microsoft, this is why I think the real difference is Sony was the one that actually coined the term sparse. They did it to themselves, but they admitted, we looking shady out here. Everybody just ran with it. But I think with Sony admitting, we got to do something one way or another. And that's where you saw Sony double down on exclusive third party, second party. They
gym and they got their
they're like, we just got slapped across the face in front of my wife, and you think it's going to stay that way? Nah, I'm going to go to Walmart and buy me a gun, and I'm going to come back. And that's what Sony did, right? So Sony went back in the gym. They realigned their first party. They went after second, third party games, keeping them away from Xbox.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we can have conversations about that, but they actually saw, we got to do something. We can't have this conversation of sparse linger for 4 or 5 years. We can't do that. We got to do something. And I think that's the difference. Sony somehow found
the problem. I just realized
they found an immediate answer to a solution. Yeah,
this was the problem and what happened. You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. There was a man. I'm sorry, there was an individual. Let me correct myself.
Terry Myerson? Oh my God!
That person decided to sell his PlayStation 5 and buy a PC because PlayStation didn't have enough games. And look what happened.
Hey,
selling your PlayStation 5,
Smoove.
buying a PC for $2,000 to have no games to play.
Smoove.
What's up?
My brother. Smoove, my brother. I got to tell you guys a secret. God is a PS fan. So don't piss him off. Smoove, what you did was sacrilegious. And he's like, oh, yeah? Okay. You better buy that PS5 back. You better get it back. All right? Smoove, buy it. If you want Xbox,
No, I didn't sell the current PS5.
Oh, okay.
What is that one X-Men BG be talking about that Smoove is?
Domino? Is it? Yeah, it is Domino, right? I think it's Domino. Yeah. So I just want to say,
bad luck.
I just want to say, I did a lot of bragging and a lot of taunting on Twitter already and in my video. But yeah, I did see this coming. I called it multiple times, throughout the whole year. I just did not believe that Starfield was gonna make it this year. Mainly because, for one, it's a new IP. We know when it comes to new IPs, things never go as smooth, when you're creating something new. It never goes smooth. They run into hiccups, they run into bumps, a lot of unforeseen things when a new IP. If it's a sequel, I would have had faith in it because all you're doing is improving upon the original. And isn't this like an engine that's a little bit altered than what they've worked on before?
Creation Engine 2 or something.
Yeah. and they, anytime a developer uses the word ambitious and talks about the scale of a game, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a delay to me, because they're doing a whole lot. They're trying to do
all the right things. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's a lot of the right things, but some of those things end up getting cut, or they realize, okay, we can't do this, or it's going to take more time to do it. And I know everybody was telling me like, oh, this is their rollout. This is how Bethesda is trying to show their games. Show it 5 months before, and then release it 5 months after that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I think they've done that with 2 games, right? And I understand they're trying to do that. And I got crucified on Twitter for criticizing concept art. They tried to nail me. They tried to nail me to the cross for that. And I just knew that was a red flag. There's no reason you should be showing concept art in the same year that your game is supposed to come out. That just doesn't make any sense. If you want to hold off on gameplay, I was like, I still don't trust it, but okay. But showing concept art in the same year just doesn't logically make sense to me. Nothing was making sense. So I was like, nope, this game's not coming out. And ended up being right. I actually believe that Redfall had a better chance of coming out than Starfield. I didn't think. Yeah, but
it was the other way around.
But I didn't think both of them were gonna get delayed. And
that's why I said I think it has something to do more with Redfall. I think this whole Bethesda came out, and they're worried about the reputation of Redfall. And again, Randolph, you hurt my heart because I'm a big vampire fan too. Jeez. But it's like, I think they're worried about that reputation of putting out a quality game without bugs. And in my heart, I felt like when the news dropped, I felt like it was Redfall. They were trying to, clear their name, get away from this whole Bethesda because they got a big budget, and they shouldn't be doing that again. That they push both games because they still trying to figure out Redfall.
But look, this is why.
That's what I felt.
But this is why, they say I'm a menace. They think I'm a bad guy on Twitter. Like, oh, BG, let people have fun.
You are a bad guy.
It's like, think.
I know what BG is trying to do on Twitter. I know what he's doing.
They think that I'm just like this evil person who wants to ruin and take away everybody's fun. Like I'm the Grinch or something like that, trying to take away everybody's Christmas. No, I just see things and I call them out. And then it ends up true, and then people realize, oh, he wasn't being a jerk. He wasn't being malicious. He was just, trying to save. He was just trying to save.
You just happen to be right, a right jerk. That's all.
And like that. Just stop being a window jumper. That's all. Stop jumping out the window saying, oh, this game is going to be game of the year before you even seen the game. It's going to be the greatest thing since Pants with Pockets. Because I can tell you right now, it had a better chance of being game of the year this year than next year. It's not winning game of the year next year. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
So
how could you say it wouldn't, but how come we can't say it is versus you can say it wouldn't?
Because it got the Xbox
Breath of the Wild.
Because of what's coming out next year.
What's next year?
Breath of the Wild 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think it had a chance against Elden Ring this year.
True, that's true. Elden Ring.
I think that's the hardest part. I think it'll be 1 and 2, but either way, one will be 1 or 2. Wait. Starfield launching in 11/11. Would they have? Are they in the window of winning it this year?
They would be in the window, yeah. But
Maybe.
who knows?
Okay, because it's the 15th is the drop off.
Yeah,
something like that.
And who knows? You know what? Like, don't be surprised if Starfield gets delayed to 11/11/23.
23. I think that's going to happen.
I'm just saying, like,
wait, hold up.
I honestly,
he ain't trying to hear that.
That's a hot take, but I want.
See, I wouldn't mind it if all those bangers they showed 2 years ago come out in 2023.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care.
So if Hellblade launched early in the year, then I wouldn't care.
If you tell me Hellblade 2, Avowed, and fucking, I don't know, Contraband and stuff is all coming out in 2023, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll take that if Starfield has to come out in November.
Well,
I'm good with that.
Avowed and Contraband were supposed to come out this year, and they got delayed. So they got delayed to 2023.
And look,
I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I don't like Xbox hasn't dated anything because dates are fluid. So
yeah.
And God of War and Final Fantasy could come out next year. I think those could possibly be delayed. I think God of War is 50-50 right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think
God of War is coming out in 2022. It's coming out this year.
You want it to because you don't want no more competition in 2023.
If God of War is like a September, October game, that's
huge. Now all the competition can delay their games because they really don't got to compete. Xbox got nothing.
I believe if Sony doesn't announce a God of War date in June, it's not coming out this year. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's potential.
You know, I did want to say this. Hey, I love this game, Remnant of Ash. One of my favorite games to play.
Oh man,
yeah, I love that game.
Just want to bring it up. He's bringing up bullshit because he got nothing else to play. Listen, man, real quick question, right? Because I'm glad you brought up that the investment part. But let me ask you this, and this is just an opinion base, right? Do you think also that Microsoft Xbox kind of bit off more than they can chew in terms of like? It just seems like they want to do so much all at once, right? They want to do they got into Game Pass. Now they got into Day One PC. Then they say let's go cloud. And then the most simplest aspect of all, which is console, they even kind of made it harder for themselves to be like, let's create 2 separate consoles. So it seems like they do so much when really everybody was just simply asking, just make more games. That's what
I mean. I don't think it's their fault. You got to remember, COVID happened. I think they had.
Oh man!
I listen. We can deny, and I want to.
I'm not denying.
I know what you're saying, but I don't want to say it ain't real because me, I'm tired. I hate that it's an excuse, but I know it's real. Like I'm in Texas, y'all, and my office finally just opened up their doors for everybody to come back to the office. So I get it. That is still relevant, and so I think they had all these hopes and dreams of purchasing all these studios. Then the world shuts down. I mean, and you have to adapt to the world at that time. Yeah. So logical. Yeah, go ahead.
I completely agree with what you're saying with COVID. That wasn't what I was saying. In fact, if anything, I think if anybody remembered long enough, who was the first gaming studio developer publisher that actually got shitted on because they were one of the first to take it was Sony.
Like Smoove
Sony. No, it was Sony.
Sony was shitted on first for being one of the first in the industry to take measures for COVID.
Yeah, they opted out of all the events or whatever that they were.
They opted out of all the events. Oh, yeah. And nobody was giving them the thing about, oh shit, they're looking out for the employees. No, it was they have nothing to show anyway. That's why they're dropping out. So believe me, the whole COVID thing is real. But here's the thing: all the studios were impacted under the same conditions. Amen. How is Sony and Nintendo still able to navigate and find ways to bring content on their platform? And what I'm asking is, did Microsoft, with Microsoft, the combination of let's do Game Pass. Let's do day and date on PC. Let's do mobile. Let's really push. Because you saw Sony. Sony in the beginning was pushing on streaming, right? Hard. They had it on TVs, Blu-ray players, and for whatever reason, they're like, you know what? We're gonna throttle back, and we're just gonna focus on PC and console.
Well,
for
you're
whatever
comparing
reason.
acquisition versus
you see,
first party.
You see,
know
but what I'm saying is,
go ahead,
so what I'm asking is, did Microsoft potentially, on top of late investment or late belief, whatever, did they bit off more they can chew?
I mean,
for this specific gen, like did they do too much?
That's a good question because Xbox had a lot to do to change people's minds from last gen. They were, and Bond would say there's still a joke, a punching bag. So they needed to change things. They needed they couldn't compete straight up with Sony, right? So it's like, what do? You change the game you're playing. You go to Game Pass, right? And you have a company that actually can support it, $1 trillion, bankroll with Microsoft. So you're right. Like, okay, you're doing 2 consoles. You got Game Pass. You got all but I think each one of those are kind of separate. Like the studios are just like, hey, you need to just focus on the games. The console team will focus on the consoles. The cloud team, the people building the cloud, will focus on the cloud. Like, I think maybe it's possible Xbox bit off more they can chew with all the studios they acquired, like essentially in a short amount of time, right? Like you went from 5 studios to 15 in a matter of a couple of years. Then you acquired Bethesda, and now you're acquiring Activision. Although Bethesda is more like plug and play, right? Like they basically just came as a full package, and Matt Booty doesn't have to oversee them. But I think Xbox needed to do these things, Porter Rock.
Right.
Like they needed to change people's perceptions of what Xbox was. And, they had to deliver a subscription service with a cloud thing to kind of fit in with Microsoft's overall, business philosophy. And all these things take time. The thing with, Nintendo and Sony is, their pipelines and their, it's already structured. Everything's already going. It's like you just let it go. And Xbox's was essentially... They were just building it at the end of last gen.
Rand.
Is
because so with Sony, the dude from Gorilla, right? Because he took Shuhei's place. He's he's the one who goes to all the Sony studios, see how the game is coming. Yeah. Is Phil Spencer the one that does that for Xbox? Does he actually?
No, that's Matt Booty. That's Matt Booty runs the studios.
So is he going? Because that's a lot of studios now. He has to go to every studio, travel across the country because they're in different spots and check their games. That's a lot to do.
I would assume Bethesda, whoever did that for Bethesda, which was P. Hines maybe, still does that.
It's Altman's son. I think Altman's son is the one running Bethesda.
Okay.
But yeah, that is, so Booty would be the one in charge of first party. And I think Bethesda reports directly to Phil, so he would be the one looking at that.
Right.
Yeah, there's just a lot now. And maybe they haven't perfected it like Sony has, because Sony's been doing it for a while. So,
yeah.
And that's why I say he was comparing, studios that they own or already had exclusive relationships with versus Microsoft acquiring. And I think there's a 2-party, and Rand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's a 2-party system going on right now, and I think that's where the conversation has been dropped, is that Microsoft is doing all the acquiring, Xbox is trying to handle all the gaming side of it. And it seems like as they're working through something, Microsoft is, hey, we're investing. So a part of that investing is inquiring. And then you got to pick up other information, other games and things like that. And I think it's getting overwhelming for them. It seemed like it.
Yeah, I do think Matt maybe has struggled in the beginning, because I do think he actually got help. I think he has people helping him, because 15 studios is a lot. But but the thing is, BG, nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah,
nobody wants the nuanced explanation. They just, and I get it. People you just want. We're just gamers. We just want the games. You ain't got no games. You suck. I'll go where the games are. So anybody's upset or whatever, disappointed by this, hey, I get it. I'm disappointed. It's just, like I said, man, I just want to see that W from Kid Smoove on Twitter. I need to see that.
Divorce papers and get the PlayStation.
But this is why. But this is why I be telling Smoove and Xbox dudes, since Microsoft went on this acquisition spree, for some reason, I think they're now they now believe that the solution to everything is an acquisition, when it's not. Yep. They see something go up for sale, or they see a problem with Xbox, and the first thing they go to, man, we need another acquisition. I'm like, bro, that's not the solution.
But you gotta remember, like we said, there's a solution.
At the whorehouse and the strip club.
hey, you always want more girls than guys in any club.
Here's the real question.
Yeah, that's not a solution at all. Because
we up a poll for this one. Who's gonna get a W first? Microsoft and Xbox or Black Baron?
Oh man,
this guy. You got to remember that was their biggest problem.
Oh man,
I get it. The acquisition.
So they overcompensated because it was there's the bigger problem. Yeah,
that was the biggest problem, was the lack of studios or first party. Because you look at it, the situation they had with People Can Fly, or I mean not People Can Fly, but with freaking who was that was supposed to do Scalebound?
People Can Fly.
Platinum. And you look at that relationship, and he's like, dude, they didn't finish a game that could have, settled all these issues before they moved into the next generation, where people had a really big title to play that everybody was excited to play. If had that game launched, we wouldn't be having these conversations, or the conversation will be different. I won't say we wouldn't be having these conversations. I'll say the conversation will be different. And so when you look at it, it's like, hey, we relied on a lot of third parties that didn't come through for us, or the relationship for Sony and the Japanese studios was all there due to our F-ups in the 360 era. We can't get those titles that everybody want to play, those Japanese titles, on our console, because Sony has, that's their home base, them and Nintendo. So it's like the thing they had to do first to fix anything and everything was buy studios. But the problem is they didn't have enough content coming out, and so we seeing it. And so the gap that they visually saw, and they can put in their planner and say, hey, from this window to that window, we're not going to have any games. Now it's more apparent to us, and we're seeing that because we're the end user. We see it on our end, and we're not supposed to see that part as a consumer. We're not supposed to see stocks running out. We're not supposed to see game content not coming out or coming out on time. That's the part that's not supposed to affect us. We're just supposed to rate games good or bad.
So to kind of wrap this topic up, how confident are y'all that they have something lined up to show at E3 that's not going to like completely, fix this wound, but it's going to like alleviate it a little bit, make it feel a little bit better?
No, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen, right? They're going to have an epic showing. I think the showing's going to be great, but it's going to be bittersweet as fuck because all the shit we see is going to be 2023 and beyond. They're like the redeeming thing is going to be like, some like AA shit from Game Pass, maybe.
Stop. You already cursed the conference. You just fucked it up.
No, you did good. You did good.
Just don't bet about
it. He did good because he said next year, so that means it may come this year. So he did good.
But the good thing is, Smoove, thanks to this delay, I probably won 2 bets. Not only the Game of the Year bet, the 90 Metacritic bet will be pushed back, but not only the Game of the Year bet, but ain't no way in hell Microsoft Xbox is selling more now in no game.
Well, they've been outselling PlayStation. Damn near this
y'all
whole
had
year
the
with
US,
no games.
the US bet, right?
Y'all gotta go into the
and I'm definitely gonna win that.
Xbox and no game.
Y'all were arguing whether it was a US bet or a worldwide bet. Smoove said it was US.
It was definitely US. Why would I bother with a worldwide bet?
Because you do stupid things, Smoove.
I mean, Xbox has gotten me excited multiple times, but there's things that I know my limits.
You ain't playing games on it? The fuck?
Man, did you curse Xbox, Smoove? What's going on?
The conference is going to be great, so it's going to be trash.
Well, as long as he doesn't bet you that it's going to be great, it's fine.
It doesn't matter if he bets. It's whatever he thinks, the opposite.
Whatever he thinks.
He just happens to put money on it a lot of times.
Hey, so we're going to erase this part of the segment. We're not going to have kids.
He already put it into the universe.
I think the conference will be good. I don't know if it's going to be like epic, like people want it to be, or the people expect it to be. I think it'll be.
Wait, hold on, Rand. Before you continue, back when you told me things ain't going to roll until 2023, right? That means this year's show would have to be epic because we would have to see most of the fruits that are coming next year.
Yeah,
sure. It depends. Depends on what I don't know the show, and depends on what they want to show. I think they'll focus on stuff coming between now and E3 next year.
They need to.
So I guess it depends. Like I guess whatever what you think Epic is.
Okay.
I think you'll see Avowed, and I think you'll see Contraband, and I think you'll see Compulsion's new game. I don't know. They just showed Hellblade, so it's tough to say if to actually show Hellblade again.
Okay.
I think obviously you're going to see. I think you'll see Starfield and Redfall. There's other projects that are in the works that they could show. Like, we'll see. Like, I'm not.
I want to see what they're going to do for third party. I'm not even looking at first party right now because.
Well, I think you look at what everybody sort of said, or at least the common sentiment was last year's show was really good. One of the best shows they've had in a while.
Amen.
That wasn't really too focused on third party outside of like smaller indie titles for Game Pass. So I'm not really sure if like big third parties will be there, especially if Microsoft has a lot that they can show themselves. Like the Coalition's new project, supposedly, like Jeff Grubb has talked about, is that going to be there? Right? Maybe. I don't expect to see stuff like Fable or Perfect Dark or Indiana Jones, stuff that's like 2024 and beyond. But who knows? I don't know if Microsoft's restructuring this because maybe there won't be a deep dive of Starfield and Redfall now, so now they have more time, so they could essentially show more stuff. But I do think they're very well aware, kid. They're very well aware of what's going on in social media and how people are feeling. So maybe they do go the extra mile. Yeah,
but I'm expecting them they need to drop a bag on something. They have to.
Party.
No, for real. Like, because I feel like I do feel like my Game Pass ain't working this year, dude. So they got to drop a bag on something. Like, I don't like.
The only way to show Microsoft that you're disappointed in that is cancel Game Pass, bro.
All right. Well, if they don't drop, all right. So I don't see
that, but I get you.
Because I don't have anything. Go ahead, my bad.
Perfect Dark in 2024.
I would, 2024. It's not next year. I don't think.
I think what
happened? I don't think next year.
A new Tomb Raider or a new Perfect Dark first?
Perfect Dark, because I think Tomb Raider just started production or pre-production from what they've been saying. So
what did Perfect Dark start?
I mean, sooner than you asked me for my opinion. I think Perfect Dark comes out before the new Tomb Raider. Is that you have it?
Yep.
Oh Jesus!
Agree, because I'll say this: Tomb Raider was a good game.
Dark will come out first, so that ain't happening.
Smoove. You just ruined it, bro. Oh man.
There's no way a new Tomb Raider is coming out before Perfect Dark.
I mean, if they want to continue the hype that Tomb Raider had, I mean, I don't think it will come out before if it's just now getting started.
Smooth put out in the ether. It's set in stone.
Can't argue that, huh?
Hey man,
I ask you this: it's really, even let's say if the June showcase is really really good, does that still alleviate the drought for 2022? Like
no. That's why I said it's bittersweet.
Like yeah, sure. You gotta, let's say they showed good gameplay of Avowed, but it doesn't come out this year. Is the show is the showcase really enough? Because the showcase is just a showcase, right?
No, you just feel a little bit better.
And then number two, let's say if Microsoft announced Gotham Knights day one on Game Pass,
I think that'll happen.
But let's say if they did, is that
no?
They gotta do something ballsy. They gotta get Modern Warfare 2 in that bitch.
What really would alleviate?
I think Modern Warfare would be easy to get in Game Pass.
It doesn't matter what they put in Game Pass. The PlayStation owners will still play it.
Hold on. So I would say this.
That's how I look at it.
Modern Warfare would probably be easier to put in Game Pass today than it ever was.
I think Modern Warfare is impossible because Sony has the
marketing rights.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that.
I think that marketing rights is like what, 2 more years or something like that. So
yeah, they got the next two Call of Duty games plus Modern Warfare or plus Warzone 2. So
So really Microsoft can't make. So Microsoft can't really make big moves on Call of Duty, like super big moves.
Well, you never know. Once they acquire Activision, they could potentially renegotiate with Sony. But Modern Warfare 2 is not. Yeah, that's not going to happen before Modern Warfare 2.
So what would be like the big satisfactory thing? Because like Black Man hit a point.
I was just about to say that, but Sony got the marketing rights to Harry Potter too.
Yeah, so that ain't happening.
Okay.
So day and date, but like what Blackburn was saying, day and date doesn't mean much other than saving money because PlayStation, PC gamers can still play those games.
What else is coming out then?
As long as I get them in Game Pass, I'm fine.
What else is coming out this year?
Does that really fill the void?
Yeah, you. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, Starfield and Redfall, you would have been able to play it on PC. Day and date, you wouldn't have.
Well, you won't be able to play on PlayStation. So I gotta get that.
Understand. I don't think it fills the void, but what I will say is, are you gaming? Come to the last question: is there something in front of you that is interesting enough that can take your mind away from it? Yes, it's gonna suck. I still think it's gonna suck, regardless of what comes out. But you have to look at it: is there enough content out there available for them to grab, put it in Game Pass that keeps you busy? And that's what 2021 did. It gave a lot of people a lot of busy work, so you can prepare for the Starfields, the Redfalls, the Avoweds and the Hellblades. It gave you a lot of busy work, a lot of good ones. I hate to use busy work because that's a bad word to use, because a lot of great games came into it.
I got a hot take.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. There was enough entertainment.
Dude, Rand got a hot take.
I got. So I think even though this all concerns us about the exclusive games, I think even if Microsoft's show isn't the best, I still think people buy the consoles in droves, regardless of no games. They already kind of have. Like the demand for the new Xbox consoles are far outpacing the demand for the 360 and the Xbox One in similar time frame. And they don't really have much, and they haven't really released much. So I think Xbox could put out Forza Motorsport and a couple smaller games, maybe a Gears collection, and probably sell out of everything they ship. Because I think us as like the hardcore gamers doing podcasts, we put extreme importance on the big exclusive games, but like I'm not sure that translate to general gaming public who's just going to wants a next gen system.
Yeah, still gonna sell out. Yeah,
like what it does, it probably really negatively affects Game Pass because I don't think people will subscribe, like Xbox wants them to without Starfield. So like, how do you replace Starfield, and what do you replace it with? Like, is Gotham Knights a good replacement? I mean, it's a DC property. It's got probably so people know it from that. Maybe it's a good fit. Do you go to Bandai Namco and offer them a shitload for Elden Ring? I don't know. Like
everybody who's bought it on Xbox bought it, so I'm not.
I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they just kind of like, all right, here's the games we got for this year, and we got everything going for next year, and that's what we're gonna focus on. But
I only don't think Elden Ring would be a good thing because I think everybody because Elden Ring is not for everybody, right?
No,
we already know that. So anybody that would try it out, that's not a game you try. That's not a game you like, oh, I'm just gonna try this. No, you're not gonna try this. This game is gonna try you out. Okay? So I don't think that's like, an accessible.
Didn't you say it was easy? Like I said it was easy?
But that's for me. That's not for the average person that's using Game Pass though.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I don't think
a lot of people did try out this game though, BG, because it sold significantly more than any of the other games. So there had to be some people jumping onto it, not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, I just don't know if you take the chance, and I mean, I don't know, man.
Like if you're Sarah Bond and you're the Game Pass team and you got these billions of dollars to spend, and now your projections are down because Starfield and Redfall aren't going to be there. Who do you target? Like, what do you target to mitigate that?
I mean, I'm looking at the list of games for this year, and it's kind of crazy because in the fall, almost nothing has a release date. Everything is still like to be determined.
Yeah, which means there's a possibility Harry Potter could get delayed.
Yeah,
I don't trust that Gotham Knights is coming out this year. I mean, that game looked rough as fuck.
Yeah, I want to transition into that. Gotham Knights. We got to see some gameplay, and a lot of people were critical of it. I still like the way it looks. Yes, the animations, the movement, the fighting. It's very different from what we saw in, like, for example, co-op of like how Nightwing fights or anybody else fights in like the Arkham series. but I still thought like the game looked really good, and I'm like, this is a day one for me. I don't think it's nowhere near as rough as anybody else is saying. Like they were saying, like it looks bad and it's a skip. I was like, it's not
doesn't
that.
Look next gen. I won't say that.
It doesn't. And they canceled the PS4 and the Xbox One versions, which they said to, prioritize your next gen and make it better. But it's really still a cross-gen game. They just dropped the last gen consoles, but it's still a cross-gen game. So I don't really expect it to look next gen necessarily.
I would tell you
like it was running on a PS4 Pro.
Go ahead, kid.
No, I was saying it just looks like it was running on a PS4 Pro.
Exactly, and we're about to get some real upscale. So I mean, it's, this game didn't look pretty. I mean, it looks fun. I'm kind of not a fan of Nightwings. Well, not Nightwings, but Red Hood. I don't like just straight gunplay. Not a big fan of that. But because it's in a Batman world, I get he's a gun guy, but it's kind of like, dude, he still was robbing at a point in time, and so. I don't know. I'm not too sold on it. I probably still pick it up because I'm a DC fan over Marvel. But yeah, I'm not looking. I just hope it doesn't come out like what's that game that just came out?
Avengers.
Final Fantasy. No, not Avengers, but by Final Fantasy.
Paradise, Strangers of Paradise.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't come out like that game, man. Ugly, man. And I'm hoping this to come out to that level.
Yeah.
I bought it. I'm forcing myself to finish it, but I'm just hoping it doesn't become repetitive like that game.
As someone who's a big Batman Arkham fan, that did not do it for me. I mean, I'll still get it and play it, but like, it didn't look like it was fun. And like watching Red Hood, like I was like, imagining myself staying in one spot with the guns. Like they didn't look like they did any damage. It definitely looked like he would be less fun to play and then Nightwing, and then his whole ridiculous soul jump. I was thinking, if you're gonna do,
that's all he can do is jump.
Yeah, but it's like he can jump off of like his soul power. It's like, why not have him shoot fireballs at that point? Like, what are we doing here? And then I know you see like the screenshots of like the materials and like it just seems like it was a mobile game, like collect stuff and new suits and stuff. Like I don't know, man. There's 9 years for this. 9 years for that. I mean, their last game was in 2013, and this is what we're getting. It seems like a complete downgrade from Arkham Knight, which was a 2015 game, right?
And it's crazy because if you compare it to the game they got coming out later next year, which is a Suicide Squad, it's like night and day.
Well, I mean that's the difference of talent. You got Rocksteady, who are the gods of this, versus Warner Brothers Montreal. So
yeah, Jack needs to know your thoughts on this Gotham Knights, because you like the Batman series.
I'm gonna have to retract my statement that I made when I said I felt that this game might be better than Suicide Squad. Okay, I'm gonna take the early.
No.
I saw the gameplay. This game looks like dog shit. I gotta be honest.
No, not dog shit. Come on, Jack.
It looks like dog shit. It's very.
Come on, right?
The game.
When's it coming out?
October.
I don't even know, bro. It looks horrible.
Anybody want to make some Metacritic predictions?
But hold on, let Jack finish.
I just, like Rand said, you got fucking Red Hood jumping on force fields and shit, and the game looks stiff as hell. The graphics are ugly. Arkham Knight was way
ugly, not ugly. Come on, man.
Bro, if you compare that to how they originally showed it, and just the Arkham Knight, like, bro, come on, bro. It was set.
Arkham Knight definitely looks better. Absolutely, no debate.
That game came out in 2015. It's 7 years later, and that's what we get. Like, nah, man. I'm probably staying up getting it because I do want to check the game out, but it ain't looking too hard, bro. It's not. That.
Do we know what version they were showing off in that?
They were not using any prompts. No, yeah. You know what it seems like though?
They should have used that one if they had another option.
Is that it seems like them canceling the last gen ports is just a marketing gimmick, doesn't it?
Yep.
They need people to get people excited about the game, so they're like, no cross-gen, guys. Come on, aren't you excited now? This is next-gen only. Because there's last-gen versions of that game that probably exist, right? Mm-hmm. Considering this game's been in development for a while. I just feel like their whole this is next gen only guy. It just feels like just a gimmick to get people excited to potentially buy the game when it comes out.
On top of that, watching the game, does it just feel like they took just the shitty side missions of the Arkham games and decided to make it a whole game?
Yes.
That's what I get the feeling. I'm gonna spend hours and hours just doing side missions. Like I don't see the presentation didn't hit it to me. To me,
as long as we're not like
on a bunch of side missions, like all the side missions you would do. That's the whole premise of the game with co-op.
It didn't feel like anything that they did make you feel like you did something. Like it didn't feel rewarding to shoot somebody. It didn't look like it was going to reward you to shoot a guy. It just didn't make sense to me, man.
It didn't. It felt like you're shooting like BB guns at him. But Rick, you think there could be any side missions that involve catching pigeons or jumping into like smoke clouds to analyze them and stuff? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Can't be worse than those Spider-Man
I'm
missions.
gonna say this because some of those missions suck, right? Like especially like the Mary Jane. But when they presented the game, you fighting Rhino, and like they presented the game at its best. If Gotham Knights, if this is what it is at its best, then oh my god, then you can only imagine what weird shit. I mean, like
them Spider-Man.
Is like Red Hood gonna lose his virginity too? Like he's gonna take off his mask? Like what's gonna happen?
Because I'm mad at Jack. Jack ain't warned me. Them Spider-Man DLC missions. Oh my god, bro. Chasing Screwball. Oh, you didn't warn me. I was mad when I was playing that joint, bro. You thought chasing pigeons were bad. Play them DLCs, dog.
People kept saying it was just perfect.
Yeah, the side missions were they could definitely use some work.
Yeah.
From what I heard, that game was just perfect. It does somebody can't do no wrong.
I mean, it's still amazing, but listen,
overall, don't get it twisted. Overall, the game is phenomenal. Like
I'm gonna have faith.
Like the little blaring issues, like they like it's like screwball missions or chasing the pigeons, but it's not like you spend hours doing those things. It's just that the fact that they exist.
You gotta do it.
The fact that they exist, especially if you're trying to go for the platinum or gain experience points, the fact that they simply exist is annoying in itself. But overall, it's just.
Hey, I'm gonna have faith in Gotham Knights. I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'm gonna hold on to faith in it, right? And I believe maybe this. Okay, I'm gonna charge it to this one. Dude who was playing ass. Okay,
yeah, that's true.
Dude who was playing, I'm like, yo, y'all made the game, dog. You made the game. How do you show it off badly? Game.
Yes.
So, dude who was playing was ass. Okay,
he was whiffing all over the place. You see, whiffing on everything.
And then second, okay, the game does seem to be a bit slower, which I don't think really helps it. And I'm hoping like maybe this is an earlier build. I'm coping. I guess I'm taking the copium. Maybe this is an earlier build, and maybe this isn't even like the next gen versions. I don't know, man. I think it's still gonna be good.
I think they need to show another gameplay footage. I mean a deep dive. They need to do something different because
remember the first footage, the first gameplay they showed, which was like pre-alpha. That joint looked fire. Look at the pre-alpha footage when they first showed it. Like the frame rate was like 15 frames per second, but it looked great.
But this is a deeper, in-depth gameplay, and it was just like, dude, is this what you're putting at? And like you said, they probably presented a PS4, Xbox One version and said, hey, this is it. And it may end up looking a lot better on the Xbox One. I mean, Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. But again, they announced that this is, hey, we dropped the last gen version, and that looks terrible. I was not excited at all.
Jack, you want to just get the super chats ready? We're gonna hit them after this next topic. All right. Real quick, let's talk about. I guess. Did anybody play Trek to Yomi?
Yes.
Yeah, I played it.
Okay, I didn't like it, so I ain't got much to say about it. What do you think? It's only like a 4-hour game, but I put it down after the first hour. I was like, nah, I ain't doing this. Let's get your thoughts, Smoove, and then Rand.
Well, I didn't beat the game yet, because I've been putting it down quite a few times because I'm not a big fan of the inconsistent combat, the horrible parry system. The one thing that this game got going for it is its visuals. I like the look of it, the whole old school Japanese like filmic look that it has. I think that's like the best part of the game, and that's what makes me want to keep playing it. But yeah, I've constantly like dropped the game. So that I don't really I plan on beating it. I think I'm pretty close. I think I got through 4 bosses. There might be one or two more, if anybody can correct me. But yeah, I know I just haven't been really feeling it like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same with Smoove, man. Like, best thing is presentation, the look of the game. I like the use of isometric cameras to present, that like samurai movie look. But man, that gameplay really lets that game down so hard. Like, I was hoping for like a Sifu like experience. You know what I'm saying, BG? Because I fucking love
Sekiro,
Sifu. Yeah, like Sekiro, and it's just like nope, just X, Y, up, down, switch. It's just like it's so basic, and it doesn't feel good. Like it doesn't feel good to kill anybody, and it doesn't feel good to parry because the parry system is kind of weird. It's an okay game. Like
that's what threw me off.
It might be worth like a playthrough, but it's nothing special.
Van, is it true? So the parry system, is it like off timed? Like it's not.
It's
like the timing is all completely off. Like some people say you have to wait like an extra 2 seconds. Which
it seems like when you see the flash, you're supposed to hit it, but it doesn't feel good to parry. Like when you're playing like Sekiro or you're playing the Batman games or you're playing Sifu, like it actually feels good to parry it. Right? This is just it doesn't. It just
there's this weird looking animation when you parry, and it's like it feels like 2 little kids pretending to be samurais, but they're playing with like brooms. Like they're like, oh, I parry. That's how it feels. They're playing with. It's like they're playing with 2 wooden sticks, and it's like you don't feel that substance behind it, that oomph. Like, and I'm like, nah, this ain't. And the game's not hard. Like I got the parry down, right, where I could do it on a consistent basis, but I was like, no, and I actually don't like the whole Kurosawa, because that's what they call it from the director. The whole Kurosawa, black and white. I actually don't like that in games. Like I know it adds to the atmosphere. Ghost of Tsushima had it. I didn't turn that on in Ghost of Tsushima, but I like to look at games that have a lot of color and a lot of vibrancy to them. I don't like this black and white shit. So yeah, it's not for me. But some people seem to like it, but yeah,
is it
not
even
me.
worth downloading, bro? Like,
hey, Jack, I already bought it, so you might as well try it, because
I ain't
we
trying to waste
share.
my time on it though, man. Like,
Anyways,
I ain't really heard nothing too positive about it
right now.
What else you doing right now?
Hey, man, listen.
I tell you, one game that's pretty fire is that Eiyuden Chronicle Rising.
Oh yeah, I'm playing it now.
I've been playing this shit.
It starts slow as I don't know what though. I thought it starts way too slow.
Hold on, real quick. Jack, let Jack do super chats first, and then y'all can get into this for sure. Eiyuden Chronicles.
All right. Super chats. We got Roy. It says, "BG, you ain't got no chill." Okay. We got Tarek Ahmed. Whoop that trick, whoop that trick, whoop that trick. All right, fuck you, Tarek. We got Megazone EX. He said Xbox album track list. 1, Halo, Gears, Forza. 2, wait till E3. 3, Game Pass thugging. 4, grinding don't feel. Okay.
I'm not laughing at any one of those. That was funny.
All right, we got cocaine on a boner. Okay. It says Halo went from Master Chief to Master Beef. Oh, whoa. Okay. What else we got? We got Rockstar 94. He said, crazy how Paramount can make a great Sonic adaptation, didn't make a terrible Halo show. Oh, shit. We got Lone Wolf Gamer T-Lou. He said, another L for kids move drop. What? I guess he meant drop kick in Cancun. Then got some emojis. We got Ron. He said, Bond is already confirmed, 3rd and 1st person like all their other games. Okay. We got Sony Nakamura. They sent 2 donations with no message. Appreciate it. We got Andrew Wilkins. He says, Aaron and Phil both said that Game Pass never made a profit. And Rand, I guarantee you Fable and Splinter Cell wouldn't release for Xbox last gen. PlayStation fans are right about Xbox way more than Xbox fans. Rand, you got anything to say to that?
Did I ever say Fable was coming out last gen? All I said it was in production.
There you go.
I mean, Splinter Cell, like I had friends who worked on various canceled Splinter Cell games. So like the game it existed and then it gets constantly canceled. So, predictions, man. And no, I would disagree heavily on PlayStation fans being right about Xbox more than Xbox fans.
Yeah, PlayStation fans are wrong about PlayStation a lot. So they've never gotten a prediction or a leak right yet. So
we got Pepe Instigator 69. He said, I really wanted to see Elden Ring versus Ragnarok versus Breath of the Wild 2 versus Starfield at the Game of the Year show. Everyone would have had a horse in the race. King of Games 405 said, do y'all think we could see Wolfenstein 3 in June?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, Pete Hines says it existed. The people are digging up the LinkedIn profiles to say it has to exist.
Did you ask Dr. Trey?
I don't know, man. Like they're saying they're working on Indiana Jones. I mean,
yep, like you hearing that.
I think they'll do Wolfenstein 3 at some point. I think the people expecting it like to release this year are kind of nuts, but I would like to be wrong. Like I would like to be playing Wolfenstein 3 this year.
I mean, but they can't even get the games out that they announced. They're gonna get a game out this year they haven't announced.
Leave it alone. I mean,
like, hey man, I firmly believe in crawl, stand, walk, run. It's like the games you have announced, you having trouble with, but a game's gonna come out of left field, no announcement, and have it ready this year. I think the odds of that happening is very wishful thinking.
We got Andrew Wilkins again. He said demand for Xbox isn't high this gen. Forte says Xbox stay unsold at his GameStop for 2 weeks at a time. 30 Best Buys in my area have unsold Series X's sitting. Then finally, we got Neo Wise. He said Gotham can't run 60 frames per second on last gen console, and online would suffer if it was cross-gen. It will be better than Rocksteady, which has been on the decline. Oh shit! There we go.
Okay,
that's all of them.
All right.
I would say this whole Xbox not selling in my store. Sometimes people don't know it's there. I think people still living in, and let's go for PlayStation 2. This is not a exclusive thing for Microsoft. For the Xbox, but it's a lot of people don't even know that they're in retail half the time. They go in and, hey, do you have one?
I don't go by that. I don't go by that anecdotal stuff anyway. Like, oh, I went to a store and they had them. Like, okay, that's one story. I don't go by none of those anyway, for nothing. So Smoove, you want to talk to us about what is it, Eiyuden Chronicles?
Yeah, I can barely pronounce this shit, man.
I kept calling it Eden.
Yeah. So pretty much. The game, I know they're working on 2 of them. Well, I guess one comes out next year. I guess it's supposed to be the main line. But this one, reason why somebody told me this game wasn't turn-based, so I was like, okay. So, and it wasn't, but it has a whole lot of dialogue that you kind of have to read through, which is cool because the story is quirky and stuff, like the little tasks and jobs. I like the gameplay loop. So pretty much what you do is you start with this as this chick. I think she's a chick. I think her name is CJ. And in this town, I'm almost certain this game takes place in like some alternate version of India because everybody has Indian names like Rajit, Priya, all this other stuff. But you
because her name is CJ.
She
came straight from San Andreas.
No, but so you get you got to work your way up. You get these stamps, right? And you get you got to fill your stamp card by doing tasks, and the tasks around the town to get people to build like merchandise locations.
You're building basically you're building up an entire city.
Yeah, you're building up the city because I guess an earthquake had came through, destroyed the town, and everybody needs help. And you're like this outsider known as an adventurer. So, they hire you to do it, except they don't pay you in real cash. They pay you in freaking stamps, which you can turn in for other things. So, the stamps. So, but the thing is, the gameplay loop is pretty much when you're not doing your main quest, you're pretty much doing side quests to fill up the stamps. And, you're able to get more things because more merchandise or vendors are open to give you more armor, better health, better abilities. The gameplay loop, I don't know, is pretty good. I like the way the game looks. It has that little 8-bit look for the characters, but everything surrounding the characters is that a traditional gaming and everything they have in it as far as like the visuals and the background and stuff is like high res, high quality. I've been going back and forth from like Xbox and PC. I'm playing on PC now because I'm in the podcast right now. But I've been hooked to. Usually, I thought I was going to drop the game because I was like, I ain't reading through this shit. And then, a couple hours passed. I think I already been playing the game for like 8 hours. So,
yeah.
But it's pretty good. You can carry it because I know my ramblings kind of be all over the place when it comes to these games I'm unfamiliar with.
So it's cool because the combat system is your CJ, she is X, and you have this big guy. What's his name? Is Guru? Yeah, and so Guru, and he's your Y button. So he's your heavy attack. He's also your guy who can block. He's a guy who can do power slam. He's gonna do the most damage. She does quick damage, and she can dash. So it's a combination of you having to switch to different characters to either block or dash out of the way of an attack, or do a heavy smash or do a quick attack. And it's combinations where if you go XX, Y, and he comes into an air attack, and then you can do Y out of the air and then come back to her. She does a spin attack. It's freaking dope. Yeah. I mean, the combinations on this game is freaking awesome. I hope it keeps getting better.
Yeah, I got it by third companion, so.
Oh, I haven't got that far. So I got past the part where you have to get the orange rock or the ground rock, so you can break that rock. That's what. That's exactly.
You get it shortly after because you're gonna need the third companion to break through ice and stuff.
Nice. See, yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. And the game is fun, guys. So if you got Game Pass, check it out. If you got I think it's on PlayStation. I don't know for sure.
It's on everything. I think. I just think it just launched day one on Game Pass. That's all.
Yeah, you guys got to try that. The game, like I said, give it 3 hours, dude. It's going to take a while to get started. It is a lot of dialogue, but it's a good story. And like I said, you just got to give it time. It takes forever to get started.
Look at Smoove playing something different. I see you. Okay. All right. Okay, so there are these rumors. I think they actually came from, well, I don't know where it originated from, but I heard an Xbox podcast talk about it, that they're working on a Gears, it would have to be Gears 2 remake or remaster, whichever one, because they already remastered Gears 1 already. So I assume this would be 2, and maybe 3. Is this wanted? Is this needed, necessary?
Not necessarily. It's not needed for the simple fact that you can play all the Gears games right now at better resolutions and better frame rate via FPS boost and resolution boost on new gen Xbox. So I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if this is going to be like what they're doing with the Master Chief, where they merge or all the multiplayer and they do like some crazy ass. But if they're putting it on like Unreal Engine 5, where the thing looks drastically different and whatnot, that's one thing, but I'm not exactly sure. They would have to show me, but if it's just a collection of the 3 games, at 4K 60, I mean, I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, if it came out 120, that'd be dope, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But I mean, Gears 2 multiplayer, online was actually really dope. So I mean, it was
my favorite one of them all.
Yeah, for sure. Number 2 is like number 2 is like my favorite. So I would probably give that a shot. I mean, play around with that for a while, but like I said, it's not necessarily needed.
It's probably not needed, but I think like the next Gears game is still some time away.
Okay.
So they could probably slot in Master Chief style collection of Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment, and then kind of gives Gears fans something to tide them over until Gears 6 comes out. Especially if they like remake Gears 2 and Unreal Engine 5, so it's looks like incredible. I think some people will be happy with that, and I know if it does happen, we got to get another like Halo, Gears, and Forza tune from Smoove, right? Like an updated version to go along.
Are we all gonna cry about Dom again?
Hey, let's not do that, because that was heartbreaking right there. My wife literally quit the game. So me and my wife was Gears all the way through, first 1, 2, and 3. All of them, played them all together, in through 5. But when Dom died, she like put the game down for a minute, and so I had to finish it with my little brother because she refused to play Gears because Dom died.
Why didn't he just jump out the truck?
Man, he was already tired from his wife. He just saw his wife in ashes. I mean, the guy was really on edge. He just wanted to let it all go, and so it was It was a bittersweet but perfect ending for the way he went out. It sucked because it hurt a lot of like I said, my wife quit the game.
Also, I think not a lot of the Gears games are on PC. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I think
No, they
Gears
are.
1, 4 and 5, right? But 2 and 3 aren't.
2 and 3 aren't.
3 and
Judgment.
So maybe maybe it's also one of the things where they want to be able to like put everything on PC. So because I know the Gears games have not done well on PC, and maybe that's because like the whole series isn't there. So like that could be another thing where it's like, all right, well,
that makes sense. Yeah,
we'll put everything on. We'll redo it, and we'll put everything also on PC, so like people can get caught up for 6 whenever that comes out. Right.
Right. Okay.
I think a big selling point for this though is taking advantage of what the Xbox can do. Because if they do a remake, an actual remake built from the ground up, obviously it'll be on PC. But if they could get certain things right, like the ray tracing,
FPS.
FPS performance mode, maybe they start pushing their own version of ray tracing performance mode. Things like that, where you can see, okay, I get it. This game is it's kind of like what Sony did with Demon Souls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's the same game, but because of the technology and that it's a remake, it takes advantage of everything this console has to offer. That's a good selling point, especially for people who because I think this gen, I've seen a lot of people jumping on Xbox and they never had an Xbox before. So this is their first stab. I think a Gears of War 2 remake versus playing the original, even if there was resolution boost, I think that's kind of a better introduction to Gears than the original, because you just get a better experience.
And you get a player base. You get a new player base playing it too. So when you play online, you get another experience.
Yeah,
you actually get a true experience.
But that hinges that you built the game taking advantage of this new tech, and try to deliver on some of the things that's been hyped about.
Right. Jack, you there?
Yeah, what up?
This you haven't bought this Evil Dead game? Isn't this like Friday the 13th? Ain't it like, don't it play like that?
Yeah, it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game, I believe. I haven't played it yet. A couple of homies got it, but
this is your bag.
That shit like 40. I'm like, Smoove, put this bitch on Game Pass. Like,
oh man.
Listen, you know what? Too though, I've never seen the Evil Dead movie.
Me either.
I never have. I've only seen clips of them. I've never seen a complete. But like, I don't have a knowledge of the series like I do a Friday. It's still a possibility I might get it. Though. I'm hearing it's a pretty decent game.
Okay.
I might just want to play with before I decide to play the game. I haven't played
that too. I need, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not just gonna be like, I'm gonna go run and play this game. There's a
lot
of good
games out there,
but it's heavily depending on having someone to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing, because Jack, you're a Mafia fan. I am too, but I've only liked Mafia 2. I didn't like 1, didn't like the remake of 1, didn't like 3.
What?
Man, come on, Jack. Well, the story. See, that's what makes me so mad. Because Hangar 13, they're ass as of right now to me as developers, right? Mafia 3, I actually watched like a lot of the cutscenes. It's such a good story, but that gameplay and this engine, I think they're on his ass. So, the rumor is there's a new Mafia game. It's going to be on Unreal Engine 5. I think that's going to make the game look a lot better, run a lot better than whatever engine they were using before. It's going to be a prequel to the original game, so it's going to be apparently set in Sicily, because a lot of the original Mafia members, they come from Sicily. They migrated to the U.S. and went in places like New York, Chicago, and all that stuff. Late 19th and start of the 20th century. Ain't Sicily Blaze's hometown? That's where Blaze is born, right? Now, maybe.
Yeah, Benny.
His real name is Vincenzo, right? That's what you call him?
Yes.
Shout out to Blaze. And yeah, so they said and the rumor is the protagonist of this game is going to be Don Solari. That's Tommy's boss in the original game, Mafia 1. And this game is still going to be slightly linear in style. So what you think, Jack?
Mafia is a really weird series, man, because it is one of those games. Everybody likes to say gameplay is king, this, that, and that. Mafia is a very specific exception, right? Because all the Mafia games got fantastic stories, portrayals, the act, and all that.
Yep.
The gameplay is always ass, people. Like, there's no way around it. Like, the original Mafia was developed for PC, and they ended up porting it to like PS2. But when the second and third game came out, they kept them stiff ass bum ass controls, even though they was developing for consoles. I don't know why they did that.
Speaking of stiff ass and bum ass, that's why I didn't play the third one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even though it's still some enjoyment to be had. Though, right?
I think you misunderstood exactly what I was talking about.
Oh.
Anyway, go ahead, Jack.
But yeah, man, they just need to well, they're not going to improve the gameplay.
They got to, man. Hey, listen,
they're not
13 got to do better, bro. They've
had numerous chances to do it. They remade the first game and it still got the same gameplay from the first. Like, bro,
but this is Unreal Engine. This is Unreal Engine 5 though, and the way people be talking about Unreal Engine 5, the way developers been talking about it, and everybody's moving from it, abandoning their old engines, it's got to be something there.
It's still Hangar 13 though. Like, come on, man. You know what they finna do. I'm looking forward to the game. No, I'm definitely gonna get it day one. Absolutely.
Hey, man.
Hey, look, Mafia 3 was a banger, man. I get it, but that Mafia 3 is fun. It's enjoyable. Great story. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but I'm with you on that.
I remember.
I probably still get it.
Mafia 3 needed more mission types, man. I think that's what they.
They definitely need that.
I remember I first booted up Mafia 3 on, I was playing it on PC, and I think in the first 30 minutes, I ran into like 5 bugs. Like I think I was falling underneath the map, and like I couldn't get, I originally couldn't even get in the van for some reason, and it was just a whole bunch of graphical bugs. Bro, I literally stopped playing the game in 30 minutes. I just paid full price for it, and I was like, yep, I'm done. And that was I think that was before Steam was doing that, refund shit or whatever. It was, man, I was mad. And then somebody on, when we had the weapon wheel thing to the tier to make somebody play a game, I think I had to do it again for that. And I got farther, but I was starting to enjoy it, but I was like, yo, this is still really bad. Man, Mafia 2 is still the best. It's by far the best. So
I don't know if I can agree with that one, Dag.
It's definitely the best.
You want to fuck with the remake?
No, I couldn't do the remake. It's a remake, but like it had like these terrible ass animations and like, bro, that had to be. I'm sorry, that remake is terrible. That remake is bad.
Come on, dog.
That remake is bad, bro. I couldn't do it, but I'm looking forward to this next game. Hopefully, it's good. Speaking of that, so Ubisoft Montreal is taking over the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. And remember, it was originally developed by Ubisoft Mumbai and this other studio. Pretty much like dudes, I think they only worked on like some mobile game or something like that. That's all. They had no experience in really making any type of AAA game. And they put them in charge of making this remake. And now they've taken it away from them, and Montreal is going to do it. So we're not going to see this game anytime soon.
Right.
It's very far off.
I'll still play it day one when it comes out. I love Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised that they didn't do like a bunch of those. That would have been a great game to continue. Well, didn't they go into the Assassin's Creed? Is that what I heard in the past?
It was that's what Assassin's Creed was. It was a Prince of Persia prototype.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate Assassin's Creed, and I like Prince of Persia. That's, man.
Yeah.
Fuck Ubisoft.
Indeed. They're big trash right now. All right. Let's see what else I got.
So y'all didn't like Assassin's Creed Origins before you move on?
No.
I've never liked an Assassin's Creed.
I only liked Assassin's Creed before it became an RPG. I liked it, but not after that.
So you liked all the way up to pretty much Black Flag.
Black Flag Unity was still classic Assassin's Creed, I believe. So up to Unity, I think.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
after that,
yeah.
After that, I hated it. Smoove like that new trash. He's fans of that new trash of Assassin's Creed.
I love it.
What I'm not the biggest fan of is Valhalla. I mean, I think it's a good game, but just if you were to give me, I would put that on the last of my list as far as Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I want to play as an actual assassin. I don't want to play as a god. Like, what the hell? It doesn't make no damn sense.
But then I realized they made a whole story for it. I was like,
like, why am I a demigod? This doesn't make any sense.
sneaking around the island and just
change the name of the game. This is not Assassin's Creed anymore at all. All right, the next Jedi Fallen, well, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order is rumored to be called Jedi Survivor. That name is kind of ass to me. I hope it's not actually called that. Rumored to be coming out sometime early next year, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We don't got much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully it runs better. I felt like the first game had a lot of problems.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also supposed to be revealed end of this month at Star Wars Celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, early next year. So, yeah, I cannot wait for that game. I really enjoyed the first one. Yeah, but you are right. Survivor just doesn't sound as good as Fallen Order.
It sounds flat. Sounds kind of lame.
Well,
they didn't try hard.
Get ready for disappointment because I'm kind of confused on what they'll do with the story because the obvious thing is more Inquisitors, but then we're also about to see either the same or other Inquisitors in the Kenobi series, and there's only 12 Inquisitors, and 4 of them and the Grand Inquisitor already died in Rebels, so we'll see.
Yeah, I believe a developer.
Are you guys? Okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I believe a developer came out and said that they originally wanted to make Cal Kestis.
Yeah,
well, because he's not a canon Jedi, a canon Star Wars character. He's made up for this game. They made him canon, but I'm saying from the movies and from the TV shows he wasn't. But now he's canon to the whole Star Wars universe. They wanted to make him. There were thoughts to make him a female or a black person. But they kind of got they the higher ups or whatever threw that idea out. They were like, nope, got to be right, got to be a male. They weren't for the other ideas, which is not shocking. That's not shocking. We've heard stuff like that before.
But I am ready for another. What's his name? What's the college name from freaking? What's his name? The black guy.
Raider? Oh no,
Windu.
Windu, Mace Windu.
I'm ready for another Mace Windu. I am.
I mean,
the problem with
if you bring him back, then everybody gets brought back. That's the problem.
Exactly.
But you keep bringing Darkseid back.
Who?
Darkseid. I'm sorry. Thinking of another
Vader?
Darth Vader. You keep bringing
Darth Vader
back.
was never brought back. He died.
Dude, listen. I understand he's dead, but he's like every time a Star Wars game come out, he is shown. Like you don't see no one else. You don't see Luke.
Here's the problem with any kind of Mace Windu game. Up until the Clone Wars, nobody had saw a Sith for 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck would he even be fighting?
Right, that's true.
So it's like, okay, you'd have a Mace Windu game, but who would you be fighting? Bandits, rebels?
Right.
Droids,
so what I mean is if we can get another or someone else with his fighting style, someone who's adopted, abandoned child, something. It's like I'm tired of seeing all the same thing.
And speaking of that, nobody else used Vapad besides Windu either. So you can't even make a game with somebody with a similar style.
Right.
I feel like once you bring back the Emperor, you might as well bring back anybody else.
I think the problem is you get like a few bring back.
Why is Kirby
coins?
just pegging dinosaurs?
Oh my god, you had to see it that way. I think I think you have a few like bring back coins that you can deposit, and then once you use all your coins, we can't bring back nobody because then nobody's ever dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but you can say Mace Windu, but you can say Mace Windu is not dead because you can say he trained another Jedi because all he did is get pushed out the window.
You can
and fall like 3,000.
But you still have the force jump.
But the rule is if you didn't actually see them physically die, they're not dead. That's the rule in all the media. But
he could have some Jedis hanging out.
I think they did that on purpose because I think they did that on purpose to not like definitively say he's dead in case they wanted to bring him back. But I don't think they can do it now. We're too far.
Too late, too far.
But you can do a prequel story of, or not prequel, but a story after the fact, and then bring in a new character who he trained. So you can still technically bring him back. That he was going through the hell of still trying to fight off stormtroopers or whatever it may be.
Timeline is over. What they what they need to do is they just need to make a movies off of Revan. They need to do Knights of the Old Republic in the next trilogy. They need to do prequels that go back further. Nobody wants Star Wars to go further into the future. It's dead in the future. Bring it back to the past. I'd rather see like full scale Sith and Jedi wars instead of like, oh, the Chosen One and the Mary Sue and Rey, who has never held a lightsaber in her life, beat a fully trained Sith. Like, stop.
Yeah, it was bad. It's bad out here. I want to get because I know it's getting late. Want to get Rand in on this, and whenever y'all need to leave, I don't want to hold y'all hostage. But I saw this report today. Microsoft is working on a Xbox dynamic backgrounds editor for if you want to change your background, I guess on the dashboard, because that's something a lot of people have been complaining about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people want more dynamic background stuff. Well, people want different looking dashboard as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I wonder if this is going to be released to the public so they can make their own dynamic backgrounds, or if this is something they're going to give to developers to like make their own and potentially sell. Like, because PlayStation offered like dynamic backgrounds last gen that they sold, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what it's going to be. It's like, here's how here's the tool to build it, and then you can make your own and sell them if you want.
Heck yeah, you can do that, and you also have OneDrive already on there, so shouldn't be. I mean, it'd be easier to port it over. It's your product.
Yeah.
Make it
easy. Because PC has, what's that damn thing that Blaze always be on? That you can create your own. Engine? Yeah, wallpaper engine. I can't. There's actually dudes who spend a lot of time in wallpaper engine to make their own wallpaper. I can't. I'm not going to do it.
I see Blaze in that bullshit.
Yeah, Blaze always. Blaze is always that guy that like cares more about looking good and everything looking good than anything else. He's that guy. Like, so he would be spending a whole bunch of time in wallpaper engine.
Because he loves his characters.
He loves
his
all right, what else we got? This Xbox streaming only console rumor? What's up with that?
Ooh, never heard that.
That's something that Brad Sams talked about years ago. It was like Project Hobart. But yeah, I mean, like this like whole Xbox Everywhere initiative that they're talking about, which they may or may not go into more depth around E3. But it definitely seems like at some point in the next 12 months, Microsoft's going to release a standalone streaming puck or like a Fire Stick.
Oh, that
yeah, like that you'll be able to buy probably for a cheap price, and
I'll buy it.
Stream your games, like your Game Pass games, and I know eventually they want to give you the ability to stream all of your games that you've bought, right? All your digital games. And that's going to be combined with like an app, like like for smart TVs and stuff. It's all about like their whole plan to essentially basically be everywhere. Like any sort of, you want the high-end console, you got that. You want the low-end console, got that. You want $50 stick to stream your games on your TV, got that. PC, got that. Like it's all just basically supposed to be like Xbox, as they say, the whole initiative everywhere. That's their whole thing going forward.
I love that.
It's definitely going to come out.
So let me ask you this, Rain. Are you a big fan of cloud, or
Nobody's a fan of cloud.
Like I am.
I don't know. Like I have a nice TV, so I would rather play the games on my TV. And when I'm out doing stuff, I don't want to play games on my phone. So.
Well, see, I utilize the crap out of it, and so as a fan of it, I love it because sometimes I'm always traveling. Like next week I'll be in Atlanta on some work initiatives, but it's like it's really freaking good to just be able to play it on your phone in your face, in your bed when you like about to wrap up the day. Like, because all my gaming is in my office. Like I said, I got a really nice TV, got the Series X. I play gorgeously, but the benefits of having it on the cloud, and it plays freaking well, especially if you're using like the Backbone controller or the Razer Kishi. It is smooth gameplay. You get sometimes bugs in there, but it's not bad at all, or it doesn't happen really at all, as long as you have a good connection. but the gaming itself on a phone with that controller is freaking good. It's not made for every game. I don't think you should put in any try to play competitively with it. But if you playing something like Eiden's Chronicles or some of these slower paced games that's more story driven, I think it is perfect for that.
Yeah, okay. and the whole cloud thing's more about getting into countries where Xbox really doesn't have a presence. Right. India, Africa, even some of the staunch European countries that are very pro PlayStation, like Spain, Germany, they can make inroads there because you don't have to buy, like a $500 system. I think Brazil really is really embraced it. So it's more just a play for the future. It's like a play for 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right?
Availability, accessibility.
If they're expecting streaming to be essentially the next big thing in the future, and they want to be the ones there first because they feel like they'll be able to reap the rewards, right?
Right.
Yeah. I use xCloud for like different things. I played it on my phone and whatnot. Not sure how more I'll be doing that in the future, but I have done it in situations where like games came out on Game Pass and whatnot, and I ain't like downloading it, and I just tried it via stream and pretty much tested it. I've done that multiple times. I've actually completed like a couple games through stream if they were like short. So
I have too. Okay. It's pretty cool. I like it. I love the feature. I mean, like you said, not having to overload or wait for a download or just wait to play the game. You just get access to it. Like that's how I'm playing Eiyuden right now. It's not downloaded. I just play it, turn it on, and cloud it.
Okay, cool.
I see this more as at this point in time, kind of like how Logical's using it. It's just an extension of his ecosystem because the way Phil is advertising it, he's advertising it as getting more players on it. But it just seems like the people who really enjoy it are the actual Xbox gamers who own the console, and they use it as an opportunity when they're away from their console. And I don't think that's the intent. I think the intent is to get a person who don't buy Xbox and be like, you know what, I'll buy this $40 dongle, and now I'm in the Xbox ecosystem. But I think what it seems more of appeasing the fan base that's already there, vice growing the fan base to a new group. And it just seems to me cloud, because I seen a lot of people are positive about cloud, is the people who already are on the ecosystem. They're just using it because it's easier than traveling with your console. It's a very easy way to travel, especially guys like you. If you're traveling to different places, it's much easier to connect to the cloud than bringing your Xbox Series X everywhere or Series S, right? You know what I'm saying? So far from the people who I've seen that are big on cloud, I'm like, oh, so that's how you play games? Oh no, I play on PC. I just like it because when I'm away from PC, I could do like, what is it, the Nvidia Shield or whatever the shit they got. So I see people so far, and this is anecdotal from the conversations, but it just seems like most of the people I've seen that are enjoying cloud is an extension to what they're already doing. Vice. Oh no, this is how I play my games. It's strictly cloud. Right. I don't have native hardware. I don't see that.
And that could actually make sense because if you look at Game Pass number versus subscribers and everything, a lot of people are joining in on the Xbox console, and with Game Pass numbers, like you said, a lot of guys who are taking advantage of are people who already had Xbox, and as new people, and that's why they're trying to grow. They're trying to grow that new subscriber base. This is why Halo has a battle royale, and so, dude, I'm over here doing this. What's called by multitasking, my bad. But yeah, like I agree that I can see that. That makes sense.
Okay.
Y'all guys want to hear a funny tweet real quick? Xbox University. This is why I can't trust Twitter. The way y'all talked about that last episode of Halo as it was trash, but it was fire. The scene was wild, but y'all must be mad Master Chief got more buns than you. He did Cortana dirty though. I love the show. Sue me.
Hey man, he my boy might have enjoyed that scene. So I want to talk about something real quick that honestly probably would have got more attention if Xbox didn't announce the delay that same day. But Jim Ryan sent out a email to PlayStation employees regarding Roe v. Wade and abortions and everything like that. And pretty much what he said was, you know, I respect people's the difference of opinions, and I respect people's you know, both sides of the argument. And then allegedly he went on in the rest of the email to talk about his cats. Like he's like, yeah, Roe v. Wade, I respect both sides, and like I have 2 cats, and like it sounds bizarre, but that's what but that's what the reports are saying. And I guess, like, what do y'all think? You're ahead, you know, of a business. Do you because they're based in California, and I think most people in gaming are liberal. So I would say it's probably safe to take the, you know, the leftist approach and be like, yeah, you know, for Roe v. Wade, but at the same time, he went down the middle. So do you think like that's the right thing to do?
Because that's the only thing to do. Hey, I respect people's opinions. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
It depends who the email. Like if this email was directly to his employees, if this was a company email going around, he's talking to his employees, then I could see the middle approach, because probably he's addressing certain issues. Maybe there's some heated discussions. Maybe some environments people are complaining about. You know, I come into work and all I'm hearing is this role. I didn't come into work for that. You know, some people don't want politics in their workplace, at least, you know, and maybe he's addressing his employees like, hey, we got to respect each other's views. Mm-hmm. You know, take this shit outside the work environment if you really feel bad. So, you know, maybe he's trying to lighten up potential issues within the work environment versus is this an email to the industry or to the public? You know, like you've seen a lot of companies support Black Lives Matters and stuff. So I think it's whoever the audience is. It sounds like this email is to the employees.
It does sound like
internal. In my opinion, he's just putting his employees in check. He's just be like, yo, relax. You're in a place of business. Don't be mad if your fellow worker doesn't have your view. That's not how it works.
You got it. I mean, again, you got to show up with these people. You got to understand that not everybody's going to agree on everything. So you can't. Him taking a stance on either or could cause a catastrophe on either side.
Well, all I gotta say is, you better send out an email about Buffalo.
Oh, I'm not even sure if they will. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, if he, but I think, but I hate that it got leaked. If it was something that's internal, because you do have to, like I always say, you got to handle stuff in private. And I think he was trying to do his best to put out a message in private.
Yeah, his mad ass liberal employees got mad. He's talking about his cat. I can't kill my. Never mind.
But
so I get it, but it's also, you know. And I get it's a tough topic, you know,
because we did see
handled in private.
We did see the president, I think it was of Tripwire, when he came out, and I forgot what the topic was, but he was more on the right wing side. I think it might have been abortion. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but they got him out of here. For picking a side, they got him out of here. But once again, the gaming industry is mostly liberal, so that was actually. It would have been safer for him to. You could pick a side, but it better be the side where the majority of your employees lie if you're gonna pick one. You know, so
pick a side and his action says otherwise. That's another thing that kind of really pissed me off.
I mean, you better be careful with the word like liberal and conservative. You can get banned for that too.
Right.
I'm being dead ass. I mean, what BG is right. The gaming development community is more irregular.
Yeah.
So. It is.
But for me, I think if you say liberal inside of just being open to the ideals of everyone, that part I agree with 1000%. I ain't gonna. I'm more left than anything, but I'm independent. But I am open to the ideas of everyone. And so when you're trying to protect the organization, you're trying to protect your employees, that they learn to respect one another. I think those type of situations be able to handle in private. And I think this nuance of, you know, young folks in the industry now, they feel like they got to put everything on the internet. Sometimes it's just, hey, dude, let's settle this and get it over with and nip it in the butt in private. And let's just, you know.
You know what he should have just said? I don't have a uterus. I don't have an opinion.
Hey,
that's talk about safe.
Yeah, safe. So, no, go ahead. You can finish.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, that's why I say I keep my opinions out of that conversation. I'm like, not my decision.
Yep.
Okay, so there was this woman on Twitter, right? She is an Xbox ambassador, among other things, I guess. And Phil Spencer came under criticism this week. Obviously, when you're the head of things, you may not be the actual reason for something, but you got to take the hit because you're in charge. So she wrote this on Twitter. Her name is Diana. She said, "To those criticizing Phil Spencer for the Starfield and Redfall delays, please consider this. Can you lead and manage one of the biggest brands in the world with hundreds of staff and moving pieces? 2, the pandemic has affected everyone. 3, slow and steady wins the race. 4, he's only human."
Nigga, we ain't trying to hear that. You got a job, fucking do it.
As simple as that.
Not exactly the best arguments.
Yeah,
it was bad arguments.
She left some things out of there, and she made a point like in the beginning
with COVID.
With COVID, can you run a place with hundreds of thousands of employees? And
that's a terrible argument. Yeah.
No, I don't think it is. I think that because people try to say, "Oh, I would have done better," and we know in reality, you have Microsoft, one of the richest, if not the richest company in the world, that you have to deal with and have to please an audience and please your employees all at the same time. It's
the reason
it's bigger than what you do.
The reason I say okay, the can you do it argument. The can you do it argument is bad is because what if you took your car to a car mechanic? And he was like, and like he didn't do the work on time or didn't do the work at all properly. And what if he told you, can you do it? Dog, this is your job.
But you have to take the arguments equals. Like if you look at a car, that's a single car. Like, dude, can you do this car? If not, let me know.
Are we talking about the tweet?
We're talking about the tweet. Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started.
But I would say that you got to talk about there's places where he has to depend upon other people. A lot of people where you may depend on that one guy to say, "Hey, can you do this? I can take to someone else, not a problem." But he has to depend on a lot of studios, a lot of employees. And again, like I said, I don't want to make an excuse for him because he still got to get it done. Just like if my job comes to me, they're gonna say, "Can I get it? Can I get it done?" And there's a lot of times that they offer me roles in management, and I'm like, "Dude, no," because I don't want to have to depend on someone else making my money.
Here's the issue with that excuse, though. Microsoft in reality probably has the easiest time managing things within the chain of command. BG, or anybody here at their job, we all work at domestic companies that receive orders from domestic people. You don't got to call over to Japan and receive issues from Sony HQ. Y'all don't got to call over to Nintendo in Japanese in Kyoto. They're talking about communication, organization, everything. Right. Microsoft's not even in Japan. All these people working in America have to be in tune with people not only from Japan, but a whole entire different culture, and then manifest that over here into their work here. And now we making excuses for Phil Spencer, who ain't even have to deal with people from other cultures or countries.
I feel you on that, but you still have to deal with Microsoft. And you also have to know, you have to also put in the ideal is, how connected are they with Japan? Could they just be saying
they have to be? The big boss is in Japan,
right? I'm not. What I'm saying, I'm throwing out a question. How do we know how connected are? Because I know sometimes when our boss is out my boss is out of town, we don't talk like that. So we don't communicate like that. She'll check in with me and say what's up, but when she's in town, then she's all ears.
I mean, Phil Spencer has more manpower, more resources, more everything than the competition, and he still can't get the job done. That's just the facts.
It's just like, don't make excuses for him. Like, it's just
no excuses.
Yeah, it's just I'm not saying you. I'm just saying this woman. Yeah. Like, listen, no. The point is, it boils down to nobody cares. Do your job. Nobody cares. Right. Like everybody has I got that before. Problems and obstacles at work. Nobody cares. We just want it done. Like, I ain't gonna make excuses for nobody not doing their job. Get it done. Yep. Nobody cares.
The same thing, and that's why I don't like. I'm big on that. Deliver on the deliverables. If you promise it, do your best to focus on that promise. Starfield should have came out. We should have focused on that. But again, that goes back to Bethesda. I won't point the blame right at him. He may have to make decisions as a top to say, hey, this is what we got to do to get these games out. We need to put more focus, or whatever it is may be, he may not be the one to blame or give all blame to. It may be in a staff that needs that blame. Like
I'll say, I'm very biased towards Phil He invited me to E3, do the Million Gamer Score. I'm friends with him.
You've been very critical though.
I'm critical of it. Like, he doesn't need anybody defending him. Like, he's big boy. That's exactly what he would say. Like, he's the head of the Xbox, so it comes with the glory and it comes with all the the anger. So he doesn't need people defending him on Twitter. He's always says he's always told me my actions mean more than my words. Like, so it's so like people defending him, it's like he doesn't need you to defend him.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes you make it worse.
He'll do his job. The games will come. Like, everybody, right? But he doesn't need me out there defending him. He doesn't need anybody else out there defending him. Like, his job will speak for itself. So like, if you were going to defend him, I'd use like a better argument than he's human and stuff like that.
Let's call it what it is. Because I know we kind of redirected it specifically back to Microsoft, but the reality is the tweet was trash. And let's just leave it there. Her tweet was absolute trash. I don't even understand why she would make that tweet, because using her logic, we cannot criticize as consumers anyone unless you can do the job too. Which, imagine, God forbid, one of our family members died in a plane crash. I can't say shit because I'm not an MIT graduate with an aeronautical degree. Are you out your goddamn mind? Like, what is wrong with her? Like, she's trying to pin it on us and trying to say that unless we have these skill sets, who are we to make any criticisms or to tell them to do a better job?
That's why professions exist.
What she forgot is we are the consumer and we expect something from this product that we pay for. Sure, we're not a high exec level at Microsoft, but many of us are military, plumbers, secretaries, own our small businesses, right? And all those means we make money and we are putting our money towards this product. And that's what gives us the right. And for some, that product hasn't fulfilled its obligation or duty or whatever they thought the product was going to do. And I'm not even talking about just Xbox, just anything across the board. Amen. If I'm going to pay my money for something and it's not happening, then somebody has to be responsible for that. And the answer isn't, well, you don't like the way that iPhone turned out. Do you have an MIT degree to build your own? No? Then shut the fuck up. Like, what? That's not how it works. Like, how is this logic? Like, so let's say if I go to Walmart and I buy a steak and it ends up, rotten because they left it on the shelf too long. I can't say shit because I don't know how to raise cows and cut the meat myself. like this that logic could be expanded to anything. Think of all the things you can criticize. Doctors, a doctor gave me the wrong prescription. Do you have a medical degree? No, then shut the fuck up. Like, what? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, that's just
that's why I said she started off there, right? But she
delete it. Yeah, just delete it. Like, listen, she's an Xbox ambassador. I get it, but you don't have to defend every single thing. Sometimes saying nothing would be okay. Like, just don't say nothing. Just leave it alone. And like you said, Phil's a big boy. He's getting paid 7 figures. He's driving his Maserati. He'll be okay. He'll be fine. He'll figure it out. But that tweet is just, it doesn't make sense for any company on any level. It's literally, if you can't do the job yourself, then don't criticize.
You got any idea what Phil's driving nowadays, Rand? What type of guy is he?
I don't know. I'm sure he's probably got a Tesla.
He's probably a Tesla. I did the same thing.
Maybe, I don't know.
A Tesla.
I don't see any like sports car related. I see a Camry.
But honestly, like, knowing Phil, like he would say, I don't need anybody to defend me.
Yeah. It's just
that's what I like about it.
That's just a bad.
That's owning. That's what I like about folks like that is that you're owning, yourself. You're owning your job. You like I don't make any excuses when I'm at work. If I do something that I ain't supposed to be doing, I tell my boss straight up, hey, look, I should have been doing something better. I should have been doing something different. Look, this is what happened. I ain't got time for arguments. I don't have time to make up excuses. I just say, hey, this is what it is. And when Randy, you said that, it makes sense that I'm glad he's like that. It's like, I'm not about to make excuses. It should have been delivered. And it gives a little bit more validity to his apologies when he tweets these things out and say, hey, man, we got to deliver on our deliverables. Because we, from the consumer side, said, hey, man, you really effed up. And that apology wasn't good enough. But for him, it's like, we messed up. We got to do something better.
Yeah. So transitioning to another crazy thing somebody said on Twitter. So there's a Forbes journalist, Erik Kain. He admitted, this is insane, like he casually admitted and went on this long ass thread admitting to writing clickbait articles for traffic, attention, money, clout. All of those things above that come with, writing clickbait articles. The two clickbait articles, I think when did he write them? Like late last year. One was like Xbox is going to leave PlayStation in the dust, and something else of similar language. And then he got on Twitter yesterday, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and he said, interesting tidbit on how Google works. I wrote my Xbox leaving PlayStation in the dust article last year. What everybody is now so upset about, he wrote that in parentheses, as an experiment because a colleague told me that Google rewards repetition. Then he went on to say in the next tweet, this is not something I normally do outside of guides, but I thought I'd give it a shot with my next big post. The first in the Dust article did like 300,000 hits or something, and that was the perfect one to experiment with. So he said he went on to keep doing headlines like that just to see if it actually gets him more clicks.
He just killed his career.
But my thing is, I'm not even sure if this will really kill his career. Like, the tweet is up, it doesn't have that much attention. Like, from what I'm seeing, people we're talking about it, but maybe it's because it's the weekend. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is really.
Can I jump on my soapbox with this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this is the place. So when he got called out on those two articles, and everybody was saying, "Man, you wrote this as clickbait. You trying to cash in on console war, drama, shock value, all that shit." He initially clapped back on that. Ponies, PlayStation fanboys, you can't talk to these guys, blah, 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 blah. Then he comes out with this whole Google algorithm, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have said that right from the get-go when he was called out, I would have, in my opinion, he would have gotten more respect. Because we all know certain things trigger or get more views and whatever, right? If the moment he got called out the first time, if he would have came out with this immediately saying, you guys are right, but let me explain why, I would have been like, he's right. If he would have came out, yep, there are, shock bait, clickbait articles. Yes, they incite to console war, but I'm going to explain to you why. Number one, Google, blah, 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 blah. And then number two, this is the shit you guys really like. Because before these two articles, you guys never heard of me. You guys didn't know who the fuck I was until I wrote these two articles. So let's be honest. You like these articles. Because every other regular article I wrote, nobody reads. But you like reading this stuff. And now you have a problem. If he would have done that right from the get-go, I would have respected and be like, he's right. Because we can't talk shit about these, journalists or whoever writing these articles, these clickbait articles, when in reality, this is the shit we read all the time, and this is what we put the most energy into. We put energy into this stuff, and not into a regular, Eiyuden Chronicles review. Nobody reads that shit. But come on, let's be honest. Ain't nobody reading no goddamn article from him on how he likes Eiyuden Chronicles. He'll get like 20 hits. But he'll talk about, oh my God, PlayStation's Dead Man Walking. Oh shit, that shit would be the biggest news. Right. There'll be podcasts. But if he would have done that from the get-go instead of damage controlling, he would he would have been like, yo, you can't be mad at this dude. He told you right from the jump, this is how it is. If we don't like it, then we got to change on what energy we put into articles and reviews and all that stuff. We got to change. Yeah, but as long as this is shit we like to read, they're going to keep pumping it. And remember, they're only getting paid $20 for these articles. Remember that too.
So I'll say this too. I mean, Rand know it. When it comes to journalism, it's all about not being the story. Write the story, but don't be the story.
Right.
And this is why I said he ruined his career, because he's opening himself up to be vulnerable. And he could have just stuck with what he said and ran with it. Like, dude, it may not be right now, but it's definitely happened. He could have doubled down on it, and nothing but positive reinforcement would have happened for him. This is the crazy thing about it. Him now saying, "Oh, this is the reason why I'm doing it," or creating an excuse for it, opens up other avenues for people to go down. Even if he was just doing it for console war. even if he was just doing for being rewarded. That's why I said he killed his own career, because now when he writes, nothing he say will matter. His next article, irregardless of what it is, won't matter, because people are going to think it's fake. You're not even intentionally trying, even if it's a perfect article and he wrote something really well about Xbox. It
won't matter. People still gobble it up. There's been so many liars and frauds that still get viewed.
That's true.
It's just weird. It's crazy that he just boldly admitted it, and it's.
I mean, is anybody surprised though that clickbait works? I mean,
no, but it's like, okay, it's definitely not doing. I hope other gaming journalists get upset about it, because nobody takes gaming journalism seriously because of stuff like this. It's an absolute joke. So if I was a gaming journalist, I would be like, listen, you're the reason why people think I'm a joke, because you're a joke.
Some of the gaming journalists do the same shit.
True.
They all in on it together, man. This ain't no secret.
Tragic.
But also, like some of those guys get paid like. So you get pennies. Like $20 for the article, but then like you'll get paid more per 1,000 views, right? So so they're like, all right, well, if I can clickbait this and get more views, it'll be worth it. And when you make an article headline like Xbox is about to leave PlayStation in the dust, it does a couple things. You get Xbox guys excited, so they share it around and they read it, right? And then the PlayStation guys are like, what the fuck? What? And so then they read it. And they share it, and it's just you have the two competing groups essentially feeding clicks to the article. It's like, I mean, I personally don't like clickbait. Like sometimes my video titles will be outlandish, or that's kind of how YouTube is. If you want to like grab hold to the algorithm, it sometimes seems like you have to be a little bit bold in your titles or whatever. But it's no surprise that people really only care about the headline. They don't really care what's even in the articles. It's just like the headline is the attention grabber, right?
Yeah. I would have doubled down. I definitely wouldn't have admitted that I, did this for the Google algorithm for more hits. I would have been like, you know what? But we gonna mop y'all up 2023, and I would have wrote an article about that.
You know why he couldn't double down though? It was eating at his spirit. It didn't sit right with him. He was probably laying up at night in cold sweats. Like, damn, 6 months ago I said some of the dumbest shit I've ever said in my professional career. He felt so bad, bro. He had to come out and admit. You know how crazy that is, bro. Like
you wrote like a 10-thread tweet. So it was.
You thought he was gonna get caught up in the YSL indictment the way this nigga was tweeting, bro. Like, damn, what you do, brother? Like, hey man, he ain't feel right, man. One right in the spirit, bro.
It definitely, it was eating at his conscience, man. It was, because I'm like, yo, why did you write this is mad words? It's a lot of sentences, my guy, a lot of paragraphs. So, we'll see if there's any if it gets any attention this week, but probably not. All right, I think we're almost done. So I'm gonna rattle off some stuff. We don't really got to talk about it. Alan Wake is getting a TV show. A TV series is in the works. Yay. That's nice. I'm actually into that. I'm into that. I like it as a TV show.
Is he gonna fight haunted books in this show too?
Shadows, yeah.
Oh my god!
As long as Paramount don't get it, we good.
If this guy goes head to head with a Playboy magazine, I'm done. Like it's over. I'm not doing this show.
Yeah, fight haunted books in this. I'm sorry. I know that's doing the game, but damn, that shit's.
For real, when I'm playing, I got a flashlight and a gun fighting flying books at me. I'm like, what the hell is going on in this game? Like, what are we doing? And then my favorite part of the game, like they give you the super flashlight. With the oversized batteries. That's like the ultimate. Yeah, that's like the ultimate sword in Zelda. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what the fuck is we doing?
Yo, got the big boy flashlight. That's I really like Alan Wake, but the gameplay was just so limited. Like flashlight, bigger flashlight, like shadows, just like shoot, But they also Remedy also said that they haven't made any money on the Alan Wake remaster.
Oh god,
they haven't made a profit. Yeah, they haven't made a
profit.
On
that game was unplayable on consoles. That motion blur was insane.
Could you not turn it off?
Not on the 360 version.
Not on the original one. On this one, I think you could.
Oh my god! Like when I played it on PC, I was like about to puke until I turned it off.
Yeah,
I
And
really
like you had to
Control.
go into the command prompt to turn it off.
yeah,
I
because
really like Control. I thought they were heading in the right direction with Control.
yeah, because what was it? I think they had a publishing deal with, was it Epic on the remaster? Yeah. So you know, they haven't made the money back to finally start making, the residuals or whatever it is, the royalties, after Epic gets the money first. So they themselves haven't gotten any money. Epic has been getting all of it so far. So hey man, and that's not necessarily a good sign for Alan Wake 2. I think Alan Wake 2 will do better whenever it comes out, but you put out the remaster to test the waters. So
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see. What else is there? There's more Silent Hill and rumors with, apparently Sony signed some type of licensing deal with Bloober Team. I don't. They're kind of trash. I don't know what's going on there. These Silent Hill rumors don't stop, just like the Bloodborne rumors. Those keep going. The day before, y'all might not even remember this game, but it's actually the most wish listed game on Steam. It's like The Division and Last of Us mixed together. That's been delayed till March 2023, and they're switching to the Unreal Engine 5. So the game does look good. If you don't remember what that is, go and look at it. It looks pretty good. And what else? Oh, big thing, because we weren't here the week before. We ain't gonna talk about it too much because it's already 9. Square Enix lost like $200 million between Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, and now Embracer Group acquired Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal from Square Enix, along with like 50 IPs, including Tomb Raider, Legacy of Kain, Deus Ex. I think they should have kept Deus Ex, and there was something else. So yeah, they sold off all their Western stuff. They were like, yeah, this division of us ain't doing good. We don't know what the hell we're doing with these. We need to offload them, get them out of here. They're gone. Embracer Group now has them. They're like the Swedish Tencent.
Tomb Raider before Perfect Dark.
Oh man, I can't believe Smoove made that bet. Can't believe it. Yeah, people were shocked by this because they only sold them for like $300 million.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it was a sweetheart deal, man.
That means they really want to get rid of them.
Don't forget the debt, though. Don't forget the debt, though.
Studios lost a whole bunch of money. Is that's probably why they're only $300 million.
It's like buying a house. It's like
$200 million back.
it's like buying a house in the hood and they sell it to you for $90,000, but it has like $500,000 in back taxes and all this shit you gotta fix. So who knows? That $300 million is probably what Square Enix got, but who knows why Embracer Group absorbed? Who knows what they absorbed by taking over?
Spider-Man came out on Avengers, so I mean that was.
But Sony had nothing to do with that.
Erase that real quick.
I was like, yeah, buddy. And Insomniac wasn't part of this project. I was like, what?
That was ugly. I'm seeing videos. I'm like, yo, I'm an Xbox guy, and I feel for the PlayStation guys because they held out. It was exclusive.
Do you remember how pissed off people were when they announced Spider-Man's going to be in the Marvel Avengers, and then everybody Spider-Man wasn't good anyways?
Let's be clear. Jay Barry and Persona held out. Okay? They're the only two dudes I know that played Avengers.
And Jimmy.
Shout out to the boys.
Jimmy, too.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Damn, the Dallas Mavericks are really about to send us Phoenix home.
When's the last time Chris Paul's won a Game 7?
Let's go.
That's crazy. They're winning by like 50 though. Like
they've been blowing them out.
All right, Jack, get them final super chats ready, Jack. We need to get out of here.
What's the poll say, BG?
Of who's gonna get a W first? Baron's got 56%, and Xbox got 44%.
Baron is not getting a W. Last I checked, he was security. Got booted by Wardlow.
Last few things, there's some reports of a new PS5 model. Salt and Sacrifice came out, which is the sequel to Salt and Sanctuary. I platinumed the first game, but because I played so much Elden Ring Like, I don't even want to play a Souls game now. So Elden Ring, you know,
did you platinum it?
Yeah, I platinum Elden Ring. Yeah.
Damn, that quick? How'd you do it that quick?
Yeah, so now Elden Ring doesn't even. I don't even want to play a 2D Souls game because I feel so like, you know, saturated with Souls now. So yeah.
How'd you platinum it so quick?
I mean, I did the save thing. You know, I didn't actually beat it 3 times. You beat it 3 times?
Yeah.
Oh hell no, I wasn't doing that.
Me neither.
When you play it the second, third time, you can go through it easy, like hours.
I'm sure, yeah. Because like with like Demon Souls Remake, I've beaten that game like 2 times in one day before. It's not hard. Rand, I remember you was getting some smoke for something. I can't remember what it is. People didn't believe you beat something.
Well, the thing is like people try to give me smoke, but I put out all my tweets and mute them, and then never look at them again. So people.
What was it about?
Because I posted I beat Elden Ring in like 70 hours with all the achievements and like a level 160 or something. So people were like, "That's impossible. You couldn't do that." And I'm like, "I did though."
Level 160? That's definitely possible. It was that 70 hours they couldn't.
Yeah, I finished the game at like 150.
I was like, people were like, "You had to have boosted." I'm like, "No, I didn't boost." The only thing I did was I think I killed one of those Nightbloods and Khalid early. That got like because you could just like lead him up the cliff and he'd just despawn and you'd get like 40,000 souls or something. I did that, but I didn't do any of the other like boosting methods to get runes.
Oh yeah, and they didn't believe you that when you said you didn't use guides. I think that was
used
it too.
Guides at the end when I was like, okay, what bosses did I miss? Quest lines to get all the achievements and stuff. But for like 95% of the game, I was just going everywhere, going into like BG. You played it. That game's easy. Like I was using a two great sword build, eventually 2 colossal sword build, and I was killing every enemy in one hit. Like I walked over in 20 seconds, and then as soon as I got the mimic tier, it was over. I never died. I hardly ever died.
Because especially with mimic tier and heavy weapons, you can like put them into like infinite stuns and stuff. Like,
dude, it was ridiculous. And it was just okay. I go into a thing. 2 minutes later, I'm fighting the boss, and I win, and I'm out. And it's like, all right, go to the next place. Like,
I definitely use guides for the.
Sekiro is so much harder than.
I said that. I said that.
So much harder.
I use guides for the side missions, of course.
Sifu's harder, I think.
Ooh, hot takes. Okay.
I mean, to try to beat it with like under like 23, whatever it was for that trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I think was more difficult than Elden Ring was. I mean, eventually you played Sifu so much that it was easy, but like at first when I was playing through Sifu, it was like I get to the second level, I'm like 80 years old already. I'm like, this is too difficult.
Yeah, like because this is my gameplay. I've beaten the game at 21. You know, like it's at first like when you play, it feels super hard, but like
I was trying to like parry everything like I'm Batman. I'm getting my ass handed to me, and then I figured out the weave.
Most people didn't know.
Oh, it's over once you understand the weave and how to dodge correctly.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That baby.
Thanks to Demon Souls 2, I never played Elden Ring.
Dark Souls 2, you mean?
Dark Souls 2, yeah. Went into the freaking church, and I couldn't get past that first boss. So I was like, screw it. I'm not gonna play. Never play Front.
You are a bum.
This guy.
Thanks for what it is. I'm sorry. They beat me up for about 4 hours. I was like, never playing this game again.
Yeah. Oh, Dead Space launches next year. It has got a release date, January 27, 2023. I don't believe that release date. I'm gonna say it gets delayed like 2 months, a month or 2 months. But I look forward to that. Big Dead Space fan.
Me too, man. I cannot wait to play that.
Yeah.
Play a new Dead Space remake. But I don't believe any release date at this point.
Can't.
Nope, can't trust them.
Nope. Yeah. Jack got the rest of the super chats there.
BG, I got a question for you. Which one do you like better, Dead Space 1 or Dead Space 2?
I like Dead Space 2 more, but I'm the guy who likes. I like the horror and the action to be like 60-40. I like 60%, horror, but 40% action. And I think like Dead Space 1 is like more 70-30.
Both those games are great, but I think I do.
What about Dead Space 3?
Oh, that's like,
we don't talk about
yeah,
Dead Space 3.
Yeah, that's like what? Just dumb action? It wasn't even fun action. It was just stupid unga bunga space shoot 'em up. Tragic. Yeah.
I thought you said the horror, not the horror. I was like the horror.
That's how. Yes, I say horror. You know what I'm saying. Anyway,
I was confused at first.
Jack.
All right, we got G's I believe, like pronounced it. Top 3 things you guys want to see at the next PlayStation show. Video games.
Yep, I saw games.
Right.
Yeah.
We got Josh Scrank. He says PS5 releases sequels to games back when Microsoft went on the acquisition spree back in 2017. Still nothing to show for it. Can't make this up, bro. Laughing emoji.
Let me actually answer that last guy's question. Just because he's super. Okay, 3. He said 3 games.
No, he said 3 things. 3 things.
3 things for the next PlayStation show. I need to see Factions. Shut up, Bond. It does exist.
Are you ready to make that 2022 bet yet?
Oh no, it's coming out 2023. It's not coming out this year. So Factions. I guess Spider-Man. Maybe is it? Will we see Spider-Man? Maybe. And what else is there?
Or release date? Hello, we need that.
Yeah, that. Okay.
My 3 things. My 3 things is another acquisition, a deal with Timberland to give me PlayStation boots, and a cologne from Christian Dior called Greatness. Oh wait, there you go. I need that cologne. I need a cologne called Greatness awaits.
Yes. All right.
Finally, we got Tarek Ahmed. He said they can adapt the Shatterpoint novel for Mace. I believe he's talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, Mace Windu, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure it ain't no more. That was it.
All right. Hey, man. Good show. Appreciate y'all, boys. Let's do these outros.
Watch the game.
Yeah. Start with Rand. Appreciate you coming through, sir.
I'm sorry. You don't call people sir. That is offensive.
Okay, I don't want to misgender you. Yeah,
it's fine. Thanks for having me. It was a fun time. Smoove, one day it'll be our time, brother. One day we'll come on
BG
wheel and
will
we'll
have
say
kids
we got that
then.
W finally, Smoove. You know, it'll be our time at some point.
I'm all Xbox too. Don't leave me out of there, Rand.
Yeah.
BG
thanks for
will
having
have
me.
kids
Appreciate it.
before that.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's do these outros. Logical.
Hey man, look, thanks for the invite. We've been trying this for 2 weeks now. Mother's Day happened, so I had a barbecue with the fam. Glad to be here.
Yeah, last week Jack wanted to pretend he had a sore throat. Like, come on, bro.
I had COVID, sir.
What is this? Your 4th time?
4th time?
It's a 2nd time, man.
He in love with it. He got it down to a science. I can get it if I just go at it this time of night. But man, thank you for the invite. If anybody want to follow I am on Twitter. Me and BG get into it all the time in spaces, just chit chatting, all love. But Team Xbox all day. We are going to get our win. But follow me at Logical, just at Logical on Twitter.
All right, Smoove.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in another episode of Weapon Wheel. Man, hopefully we get some good news next week. Check out Eiyuden Chronicle Rising on Xbox Game Pass if you haven't already. But we'll see you guys next week.
Move. We haven't bet anything yet. Anything you want to bet on?
At this rate, man.
Leave it. Do not bet on anything.
Yo, Rand,
don't bet on anything positive for Xbox.
Rand, you're gonna be banned from this podcast. You messing with my money.
I gotta like think first about the future of Xbox. I can't have Smoove out here ruining things,
Just to bring up something I think he was upset about. So Game Bakers, the developers of Furi, they put out a tweet as to why like Furi is not getting like a next gen, Xbox next gen update. They said we have heard all of you who played Furi on Xbox, and talking about the previous Xbox, and we understand your frustration. We are a small indie team, and we couldn't find the time and budget to make the port because it's only going to PS5. That's a good reason, right?
No, it ain't. 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 The dumbest excuse I've ever heard.
They're small indie studios.
Yo, all right.
What do you want them to do?
Shout out to Ario Knight, one man who made one game with on his own time and budget, managed to get the game out on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch and PC, and managed to release downloadable content this year to support all platforms. One guy.
They put Furi on all that shit originally, and Xbox fans didn't even know that game been on Xbox since 2016.
It's been on, yeah. Yeah,
bro, but the thing is, didn't even know the game was available on Xbox at all, bro.
How do they? So they telling me the only platform they can't do an update for is Xbox, but they can do it for the Switch, they can do it for PlayStation, they can do it for PC.
People bought and played the Xbox version.
So what does it matter?
Smooth.
Why would you spend money for the game that didn't get
wait. However money it was going to cost them to port it to PS5 or do an update for PC, it wouldn't have cost them no extra to do it for Xbox, especially if they're doing it for PC.
People played them versions so smooth.
Man, I'm gonna tell them this. I'm gonna tell you this. What's the name of that dev team? Fuck them. Their games are trash. Right?
Furi's good.
Fury is not good, and I won't buy another one game from them at all, ever.
Listen, they were nicely smooth. They were nicely telling Xbox gamers in a nice, professional, easygoing way that you didn't buy their game, so they're not supporting the platform for that particular game. You can't really go out and threaten them. Well, we're not going to buy your games anymore. Well, guess what? That was the problem that started this. Because you cannot threaten them with something you already did.
Yep.
No, you can't threaten them. That's not a threat. Oh, well, we're just not going to buy your game. That's what we're talking about. You didn't buy our game.
That doesn't make any sense. You literally have to have like 0 copies sold. Like, I don't believe that. And I don't believe that's the case. They said, well, it's just 1/4 of the Switch.
Cool. Let's logically think this. Let's logically think. Do you think the developer but let me ask you both. Do you think the developer is like, we're not going to put this game on Xbox because, fuck Xbox? You really think that's what they're doing?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God!
Real quick. The second tweet specifically said Fury never captured a lot of attention on Xbox, and unfortunately, we had to prioritize platforms.
Yep. They
prioritize every platform.
So kids has the right to give them the finger back.
So you think it's just hate on Xbox? That their decision for their business. This is how they make their money for themselves. You think that this decision was like, fuck this platform. So even though they can make money off it.
So that's, but you can say that, but look at is Final Fantasy VII remake coming up? Xbox? That's a whole
different situation.
But it's a lot of money they can make.
No, but that's not the same because
but
listen. The thing with Final Fantasy is there's potentially Sony got involved and paid Square Enix not to put it on. This is different. What I'm asking you guys, did a group of people who have a business purposely not put this game on Xbox because they're fanboying or being stupid, or because there is some type of financial issue where it causes a problem for their company?
For context, the game went to PS Plus first, so Sony gave them money, and then it went to Xbox a few months later, and it went to Switch last. I think it might have been, but Switch.
So their marketing A1 was trash. Because if no one knew it came out, and we always thought it was Xbox exclusive.
I knew the game came out. I bought it. I played it day one.
Yeah, but on PlayStation.
I remember it,
but on PlayStation,
they can't be like. I think
listen to the question I'm asking. Let's say the marketing is trash. Let's say the strategy of how they put it on Xbox was stupid. But at the end of the day, do you think this was a business decision where they're concerned about their revenue and profit growth, or do you think they were fanboying and say, fuck Xbox?
I can't.
What do you think they actually did?
I'm gonna say it was a lazy ass business decision because.
Oh my God!
Let me tell you why. Because they did it for everyone else, regardless of their financial times.
Yep.
You know what's the problem?
Everyone else.
You know what's the problem? The problem is this: you guys don't want to listen when everyone else tells you guys don't buy games. We've been telling you this. All right, and you guys think we just counter warring, bro. Game Pass was the best thing for you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Exclusively launched for the PlayStation, and you shadow drop it on the Xbox. Come on now.
Well, all right. So look at this. Cuphead. I played and beat Cuphead on Xbox. It didn't come out to PS4 for like 2 years. Guess what? It was successful on PlayStation. 2 years after it was on Xbox.
But Porter
They
Rock,
marketed that game.
Porter Rock, you know, Furi didn't sell much more on PlayStation than it did on Xbox, right? Like judging,
what are the numbers? Like I don't know the numbers.
So Vice did this whole breakdown about this. So the numbers of Furi without PlayStation Plus, they broke it down. 54% of it sold on Steam, 19% sold on other PC, 14% on the Switch, 7% on PlayStation, and 5% on Xbox. So it's a 2% different. However, if you include PlayStation Plus, 78% of people playing it were on the PlayStation 4.
So y'all don't buy games.
That's what I mean. But that makes
y'all don't buy games.
That's why I was getting the point.
Oh, if they
So
wanted the same reaction, they should have put it in Game Pass then.
So
Game Pass didn't exist in 2016.
It's getting a PlayStation port because a lot of people own it on PlayStation due to PlayStation Plus.
And it's more likely that people would buy the PS5 version or whatever, or in the DLC because they played the PS4 version.
I mean, I don't know if anybody saw that rinky-dink looking game. That shit ain't gonna look any better at 4K or anything. I'm sorry.
It's a good game though. It really is. I really like that game. It's really good.
Well, you wanted this game the way you talking about it, brother?
Jesus Christ, Phoenix is getting destroyed.
Jack, no, I don't want this game, but it's just oppressible. I can't stand when people blatantly ignore a platform they have really no real logistical reason to do so.
Right.
The game comes out this week, by the way. If you're interested to go look up gameplay, it's like a boss rush game.
I have it on
Xbox.
Really good. You think I enjoy it, PG? Because I have it. I've just never played it.
It's one of those games that require really good reflex. It's parrying. It's a whole lot of parrying in the game. That's really what it's a parrying than attacking. Like I'm not gonna say it's on the level of Sekiro, but it's like futuristic type of parrying game. It's all bosses and stuff like that. It's really good. Yeah.
Listen, the lessons to be learned is don't buy your multiplats on Xbox because you don't know if it's gonna get supported or not. There you go.
Oh shit!
Damn.
All right.
I'm playing, man.
Time to get out of here.
Logical's like, if you don't shut your ass up right now.
Warlock, you don't even know you can buy first party games.
Hey, man, between this and the network.
Internet just cut out. Good job, Internet. Good job, Microsoft.
Yeah. Portrock, you don't even know if you can buy first party games. That Halo already
Windows, there you go. Goddamn Phil Spencer. Satya shut me down. Now my laptop's saying restart for new update. Yeah, new update.
Speaking of Halo, Smoove, you go back to season 2 yet?
I did a couple games.
Let me verify this real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, this is probably I went. Yeah, I did a couple games. I got a couple of last man standing games. I haven't won the last man standing.
Halo, y'all gotta join Halo Night with J Rock, man.
I did that. I'll do it. Like he did.
We need to go to After Dark. So Jack, do your outro real quick.
Appreciate y'all for watching. JiggyMerch.com. Tap in. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Y'all know how to get in touch with me, man.
Yeah. All right. Bond.
Bond, come to the After Dark.
All right. Who didn't go? Porter, did you do your outro? I can't remember.
No, I didn't. But hey, appreciate it. Thanks for the invite. You can check me out here also on YouTube. Got my YouTube channel, 60 Frames No Lag Tuesdays. It was great talking to you, gentlemen.
Everybody got a show that I don't know about. Randolph, I know about you, brother. Everybody that has a show that I don't know about, shoot to me in the DMs. I definitely want to come by and join and definitely support. I like
man, you'll catch a heart attack listening to my show. Now I'm playing. I'm playing. Look, but I gotta get you on. Though.
First, man, you said that to me, so I never followed you. But
I know.
Now I had to follow you today because I was like, you're not as bad.
No, it's just Twitter, man. Twitter, I'm at my worst because y'all made me this way, man. Like half the conversations, people like I could be like, man, I like chocolate ice cream, and they'd be like, fuck you, Porter Rock. Nothing wrong with strawberry. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so y'all made me into the animal I am. But on podcast, I'm cool.
Everybody did their outro. We're out. We'll catch y'all next week. Appreciate y'all, boys, man.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, best spot, Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you don't like the games, get the fuck out of gaming. I got my Halo Gears and Forza, Halo Gears and Forza, Halo Gears and Forza, Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. Got my Halo Gears and Forza, Halo Gears and Forza, Halo Gears and Forza, Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. I'm on my Halo Gears and Forza. Bitch, I thought I told ya. I'm gaming 4K Ultra. Textures make you throw up. No anime, no Neo, no Tokyo bullshit. Forza 7 on my Scorpio. It's looking super crisp. Not that PS4 Pro, soupy shit. Or that Nintendo Switch, goofy shit. I like my Master Chief and my Marcus Phoenix in the Forza game with the orange McLaren. That Xbox got my hand shaking. Took a poop on my PlayStation. Wiped my ass with my hands and wiped it on my PlayStation. My Xbox clean, sanitation. I'm NBA Live with the animations. I bought that X, no hesitation. I'm the best spots, bitch, that's dedication. Smoother frames and faster loads. More games than my box can hold. 4K and better shadows. Xbox is for the pros. Xbox, we play games. PlayStation, y'all list games. Y'all got them niche games. We got them big names. You can have your knack in your GT Sport. You can have your Nier in your PS3 ports. But over here, our games are clear. And I must admit, I'm happy with my Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming. Got my Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. Halo Gears and Forza. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of gaming.